What is up, everybody? Welcome to the SBP. Hope everyone is well on this fine Sunday morning. We're going to talk some basketball, and I got my guys with me again. Didge, what's going on, man? You weren't with us last time. I know you had some previous obligations, man, but it's good to have you back, brother. How you feeling?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you inviting me. Yeah, last week I was a little busy, but doing good. Glad here to talk basketball. I'm no longer bitter about the sport, so I can talk. I can talk freely now.
You can talk freely.
Yeah,
we understand. We chatted. We had a good old New York chat. Not too long ago, and we may talk some more New York later if anybody wants to bring it up. And I'm going to ask you a little bit later about your season after we get past these finals, because inquiring minds want to know.
That's fair.
No doubt. Juwan, what's good?
What's going on? Glad to be here.
Oh, good. Glad to have you. Joel, what's up, my man?
What up? Nice to be back. Talk some basketball, my specialty.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is. And you're talking about being busy. Of course, Source is away. My man Source got a bunch of stuff he's working on and doing right now. So for anybody that's checking this, we may possibly later today, depending on how things run, be back on to talk some WNBA. I know I had somebody hit me yesterday, and then one other person this morning wanted to talk some WNBA. So Source and I may be back later. If not, it'll probably be later in the week because I know we won't have a show next Sunday due to he has some previous obligations. And me too. I'm going to see Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, bro. I got plans early in the day, so got to go represent and. Bad Boys 4, show them some love. So, yep. So, other than that, man, how you guys feeling this morning?
I'm doing good.
Feel pretty good. Pacers got swept.
That's a beautiful thing.
That was so great. That was so glorious. Finally, somebody could get it done.
Yeah, that was a beautiful thing.
Hey, whoa, hey, hold on now, okay.
Ooh, that was sitting right in there, right?
Wait a minute. Because last time I checked Joel Prime, they had to beat a certain team to even get to us.
That is true.
And we were hoping we were hoping that certain team would have avenged us, and
we tried. We had 7 games.
I feel
gracious. That man said it like he didn't said that like the Pacers had a first round bye in their first game was against the Knicks.
Look, man, with how hobbled we were, it was basically we were on our last leg.
Did what were we?
I was bitter.
Last 5 minutes of that game, everybody was hurt except like 2 people.
I was bitter at that point. There was no excuses anymore.
We were so battered. They took our starting lineup out with 4 minutes left of a game that if they were healthy, they could have maybe made a comeback to. We're good, guys. It's Cancun on 3. Let's just get out of here.
Broke his hand. They're like, well, this is definitely over now.
No team.
This is for sure.
No team can talk to us about injuries. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear none of that.
Did y'all best player play in the playoffs? Because ours didn't.
Yeah, I know he did not, but I said the best player didn't play in the playoffs.
But it's ours didn't. You got to admit though, with us, it was more than just about the star player. We're missing players.
We were too, but one of those players was our star.
Yeah. Did I want to remind you, Dame and Giannis were your biggest injuries, right? Ours was Josh, Brunson, OG, Mitch, Julius Randle, Bojan Bogdanovic.
Dame and Giannis is like 75% of our offense. Chris Middleton is like
I named 6 players. That's a starting 5 and a 6-man that we were essentially.
We are also the oldest team in the league.
Hey, Joel made a good point. if you told your homeboy Bobby Portis not to get thrown out in the first 5 seconds of that goddamn game, maybe you have a better chance.
I don't know. That was just frustration. I felt them. I was
frustrated with them. Hey man, that Pacers team is so frustrating. It makes you want to punch him. Hal has a punchable face. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't really mad at him.
I bet you Halliburton won't wear that hoodie no more. I know that.
Bet you he won't. Bet you he won't.
Oh man,
that's in his drawer after that.
I like that Brunson and Josh Hart texted him the other day and was like, "Damn dog, couldn't get one. Not even one, just one."
It's funny that he never won another game after that sweater.
Right? Crazy. You know what's funny? I'm learning that people talking shit against the Knicks, like these new Knicks, it's like a curse. Remember when homeboy from the Nets was like, I don't know what it's like to lose to the Knicks. Like, we've been beating them since I got here. He has not beaten the Knicks since he said that comment.
Karma's a bitch.
Who was it? Claxton? Was it Claxton that said it?
It was the Claxton.
Yeah, Claxton.
It was Claxton.
Yeah.
Dinwiddie has not been the same.
Dinwiddie lost his game after talking shit about the Knicks. I don't know what happened to that guy. He got space jammed. I don't know.
Everyone likes talking shit when they got KD and Kyrie on it.
You know,
too, right?
Y'all know how they do. You know how they do. I'm just tripping off the fact that I got folks come up to me talking about, looking at my my lanyard and stuff, still talking about what happened. What do you mean? What happened? Do you watch the game?
Watch.
Like, that's not a question you should be asking. What happened? Like, what I'm saying?
No, this isn't the season to say that for. Last year you could say what happened, but this year, no, this isn't the year to say what happened. Yeah, this is the year.
So
you can ask them.
Not too much. No, you can't. Again, our MVP candidate did not play in the playoffs. Our second leading scorer was gone after game 2. Sure, he showed back.
Ain't no excuses. Wasn't Doc a former player? Throw his ass in there. Make him.
No excuses. That you just make those excuses. It's no excuses for us.
Yeah, make Doc play. Shit.
They benched Beasley the second.
Get him in there.
Yeah, god damn. Tell someone to take in.
They had to start Patrick Beverly. They were desperate. They were like,
"Oh my god!" Then he out here throwing stuff at fans, kicking reporters out of his press conferences. It was just a mess.
He was.
I'm telling you,
I hated that my Bucks season ended like that.
The Pacers took y'all out of character, bro. It was crazy.
I hated it. I hated it so much.
It was crazy. You had Halliburton doing the Dame, like the Pacers were really out there disrespecting y'all, bro. It was bad.
Didn't they get blown out the first game? That the Bucks
sure did.
Out. I was like, what happened?
Yep. That was all. You know what it was, Joel? You ever see when Goku does the spirit bomb and he takes all the energy from people, and then once he's done, he has no more? Yeah. That's what Dame Lillard did in that first game. That's all he had.
They gave it all that first game.
I got no more for y'all, dog. Y'all better pray Giannis.
I didn't realize you did win another game, though. I was like, oh shit, I must have.
Yeah, we won 2.
Yeah,
that was the quietest second win.
I swear,
I couldn't even tell you when that second win was. I remember the first one. That was loud. That first one was loud. What was the second one, Didge?
It was game 5.
Game 5.
Wait. Did y'all have a Miami Heat game? Did you shoot the lights out or some shit? What happened in that game?
I think they just couldn't hit shots. Something.
Just one.
Oh, the Pacers just couldn't hit shots. Got you.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy, Prom. Real quickly, the thing that shocked me the most about the Bucks is that I did honestly think if anyone could have slowed down the Pacers, it would have been the Bucks, because they have the ability to get really physical. I don't know. I really don't know. Now I get it. The injuries were horrible, but they still had big bodies enough to just slow them down a little bit.
Yes, they did.
I was just really surprised the Pacers felt like they could just still run on them. There was nothing slowing them down.
Brooke is 85 years old. So, he can't really run that fast.
Yeah, they pissed him off enough to take him out of it.
Give you a couple of shots. That's about it.
You're right.
That's about it, right?
And unfortunately, Jay Crowder is not actually a big.
No.
He's like,
he's like 83, so it's like that didn't help either. We need to get younger and more athletic.
Problem is, the only way to do that is
It's
through the
everybody.
draft. So it's
y'all got some things to do, man. Y'all definitely got some things
Sure.
to do over there.
I am
So you gonna
looking
keep
to that back
said star happy.
Yeah, look.
Mhm.
Like,
I-
what do you guys think? Before we get into these finals, what do you guys think? Which player is out there that becomes unhappy with their situation first? Do you think is Giannis? Do we think it's Embiid? Do we think it's somebody else?
I can tell you, it won't be Joel Embiid. It won't be Joel Embiid.
Okay.
It won't be Giannis until probably trade deadline. Because to me, I don't think you can walk into the Bucks front office and start making demands when you couldn't be healthy enough to help your team in the playoffs, right? So at least give them a chance to build a team better around you, see how it goes. And if that team still can't get past the first round, then it's
Right.
you maybe next year or maybe even by trade deadline if it's not really going well, maybe then. But to me, I don't think the Bucks need to worry right now because first thing I'm telling them is, hey dog, what the fuck happened? Where were you?
And that,
Right?
and to be fair with that, I think Giannis, what he's looking at, even from the last two playoffs, is last year, yeah, he played, I think, good majority of the games, but he got hurt very early in that series, and so he was playing hobbled all series. So then this year, obviously, he didn't play any of the series. So his whole, I feel like, and even just from hearing like the statements that he's putting out into the public or in local media, it's been about he's looking at it like, I haven't been there to help my team. Like Juwan said, it's been a lot of, sure, we didn't go to where we were hoping, but it's because it starts with me. I wasn't there to be 100%. Obviously, no one's 100% in the playoffs, but I wasn't even 90%. So it's the I got to be better before I can demand everyone else be better.
True.
I do think it might be Embiid though. I think he's going to get frustrated. I think he's already frustrated. And I'm really curious to see what Philly will do in the offseason. And I feel like if those moves aren't what he thinks is going to make them better, I don't know if he's going to demand a trade, but
I can tell you this. If you're Joel Embiid, the reason why you shouldn't start making any noise anytime soon is your team's biggest issue was that when the Knicks said, okay, Joel Embiid, go drop 60 a game. We don't care. We're just going to make sure Maxey can't do that. And we know you don't have anybody else that is a scoring threat, right? Like Kelly Oubre, we're not worried about. Tobias Harris decides to never play basketball. I don't even think he knows what basketball is at this point.
He's done there, I think.
100%. So
Tobias Harris?
To me, yeah, for sure. So to me, I don't think Joel Embiid will be upset because the Sixers have a short list of guys they're looking to go after, and there's no way they strike out on all of them. There's just no way they strike out on all of those guys. Like if they can't get Zach LaVine, like if he's at the bottom of your list and you can't even get that guy, Embiid, you might have to just go out and put on a transcendent season and hope you're healthy enough to carry it through into the playoffs. I mean,
that's the issue, though.
I don't really know.
Yeah, he was having a transcendent season, and then he got
hurt because
and then he got hurt, right? But he did come back for the playoffs, and injury wasn't his issue in the playoffs, right?
I mean,
injury was not his issue. His biggest problem was I think the lights were a little too bright for Maxey, but I think Maxey will come back even better next year. Now that he has more,
I think Maxey is going to be more dangerous next year. Like because he
for sure
after being able, like you said, the lights came on. Well, the lights were a little bright, but when they came on, he balled out. Now he knows he can do it.
He did.
Right. I can really be that dude, like for real. That's the way he feels. So I think he's gonna be even more dangerous next year.
Maxey was a threat,
right? So I just don't see Giannis. I don't see Giannis or Embiid asking out anytime before the trade deadline. I just don't, because you got to give your team an opportunity to build better around you. And those are just two guys who are just too. It'd be like Julius Randle complaining. It's like, bro, the last 2 years, you just cannot stay healthy. Like,
again,
again, freak accidents, but
not in the
you know
same
what I'm
level,
saying?
but the same that happened to Giannis happened to Julius. Literally injured the
Right.
first round last year, and then not available at all this playoffs this year.
Right. So you kind of have to be the quiet one and kind of just let things play out.
You can't complain.
Right. You can't complain. You got to give a full healthy season, healthy postseason. And then if like the team's not doing what they need to do, then that's when you have the leverage. I mean, he has the leverage now, but I just, to me, you know what it would be like? It'd be like when Kyrie said, all right, Boston, I love you. I'll be back. And then bounced. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like that. So.
I got you. Indeed, that's going to definitely be something to watch. Well, then real quick then, while we're talking about Philly, what do you guys think about the reports when they were talking about the possibility of them trying to get Jimmy Butler back?
I was shocked by it. I was shocked. I was shocked that Jimmy Butler was that it seemed so confirmed that he's out of Miami. Like I thought Miami loved him. So like when the reports
Pat
came
Riley
out,
was talking reckless.
But does he
I
still
did
love
see the
him?
Pat Riley. I'm talking about everybody else in Miami.
Gotcha.
Miami does love him. I don't know if Pat Riley loves him as much to give him a max. Philly's like, well, we regret letting you go. We will pay you that max now. What, 4 years later, 3 years later?
I don't know if that'll work with Maxey.
It'll work.
Maxey, and
100% it will.
I feel like that won't.
You just put Jimmy on any team, it works.
It works mainly because remember, Jimmy during the course of this season essentially is non-existent, right? He only shows up for the postseason. So it's like that's when you need him most. So it's like
that's fair. That's fair.
Just need him to do his thing come postseason.
Certain regular season games, he'll show
when he plays the Knicks in postseason.
He wants to talk shit to you, he'll show up. Yeah.
Right.
It looks like we got my partner in crime over here. He's actually in the building. Source, what's good, brother?
Oh, hey, what's happening, man? What's going on? Gentlemen, how y'all feeling?
What's good? How are you?
Life, just life, man. You know, life.
Life be life, man.
That's what they say.
It definitely goes hard. Yeah, we were just sitting around kicking about a couple of topics, man. Before we get into these finals, mainly just talking about, we talked to Didge, about his Bucks season ending.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Crime. Did y'all have a New York Knicks good cry?
Nah, nobody see that we go. I think we were pretty much in unison that we were, it wasn't great that the season was over, but nobody was really going crazy about it, man. Like I think we'd have been a little more hurt Source if we were close to full strength at least. It's like,
y'all were logical. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we were. And when we're talking about, we ain't talking about just Randall not being there. I'm just talking about everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You can't make the stuff up that happened to us in that short period of time. You just can't make it up, bro.
I saw people say that the Knicks should stay like they are before the series was over. Stay like they are. Bring back Randall. Oh, they're gonna be even better. I was like, that's not how sports works, yo. So you're telling me you don't want your team to try to get better? You want to stay like you are, and just go with this. This is what you think is gonna do it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think. I'm not saying that you don't see what's out there, Source. I don't, especially because Randall's name's going to come up. But I don't think any of us actually have a problem right now with at least right now, running it back. I mean, things could change by the trade deadline. You got to see who's out there.
At least.
But what they built this year with this team,
I think the deeper issue. I think the deeper issue people forget is in the month of January, we went like 15-1 or 14-2. And then Randall got hurt. And then right after Randall, OG Anunoby got hurt. And then Randall didn't return. Yeah. So we don't know what this team looks like when everybody is healthy.
Exactly.
So when people say run it back, they only say it because it's like month of January was almost legendary for Knicks fans for this season. So it's euphoria, like, can we get that in a long form? You know, like, can we get that longer? That'd be nice. You know,
I say this, and Juwan hit it perfectly. You know, you got to understand they only played the three of them. Randall, OG, and Brunson played together 12 games. They won 11-1 together.
Oh, 11-1, right? Gotcha.
They won 11. They won like 11-1 together. We at least want to see what it looks like. I'm not saying that the right move doesn't come along, and then Randall's there, and he's got to be part of the package, and it's going to benefit us. But I don't think you just automatically look to blow it up. You don't know what you have. Where did we go, guys? Was it 26-6 with OG? When OG got there, but we
rarely lose.
And one, three of them played together. So I'm not ready just to throw Randall out of there. And you know, I was one of the main guys even last year saying I'm ready to get rid of him.
We were all guilty. It looks like.
I will say this: when you look at our roster, the roster that we have right now, to me, I feel as though this roster is as good as the Denver Nuggets roster. Right? You have your superstar in Brunson. You have your complementary star in Randall, right? And then you have amazing pieces that fit around those two, and then a all stopper, right? Or a defensive guru in OG and Anunoby, right? So kind of like we were playing. Think about it. We blew out the Nuggets when those three guys were healthy: Brunson, OG, and Anunoby, and Randall. Blew out the Sixers all on live television. Right, blew out the Timberwolves. Sorry, I can't forget that. Those are the three best teams at the time.
Yeah.
Blew all three of them out. Live televised games. So it's like this team can be great. Where they need to get better is their bench. They had no one to go to when Randall and OG went down. Nobody.
Yeah. You got to think about some of the guys that were supposed to be the bench end up having to be starters.
That's why. Right. That didn't help either.
Now, we'll say, Source, I think they will make moves. Like me and Joel were talking before. Like, I could see Mitchell Robinson being out. You finding a place for him to go. Maybe Bojan finding a place for him though, because you got to fix that bench, and you can't keep those two guys and fix the bench the way you need to. But I'm not giving up Randall. I'm sorry. I'm just 25-9. Don't just walk down the street.
Unless it's a significant upgrade. Unless I'm getting Giannis back, or I'm getting like.
Hey, don't keep Giannis' name out your mouth.
I'm just saying. I'm comparing. You should be happy. Yeah. I'm going, Giannis is the high mark.
I need Giannis to get unhappy real quick.
No, keep Giannis' name out your mouth, please.
For sure. Does his wife like New York? Have we asked her? Because you know that's where it starts. Is his wife like New York? Somebody got to ask.
She's from Milwaukee. She's from here.
Damn. She like to shop though, man, don't she?
Yeah.
Don't she like to shop?
It's a whole thing called online shopping. I do it.
She like Broadway? She like Broadway?
No, she said theater sucks.
Theater sucks.
What you were saying though, I don't think you can just blow that up. I mean, it's got to be a significant upgrade, like Joel
you can't blow it up, not at all.
Not right off the bat.
Not the second seed. You blowing up a second seed?
Y'all want it?
I mean, look, if Boston don't win the finals, they might get blown up. So,
well, that's because you keep hitting a wall if you're Boston. Like that's different.
Don't throw seed out there as a reason why you don't blow it up.
Boston's a different.
Boston is completely different. They keep hitting the wall, and they invested too much money in two players that do the exact same thing.
This was
always going to be
their
problem.
We're here.
Yeah.
You know?
They at least just hope we can get a championship or two out of it before we needed to assess it, but we'll see.
But y'all blowing up Boston if they don't win the championship?
I think they're going
blowing them up, but Brown has to go. Brown has to go, 100%.
Restructure.
Brown has to go for $300 million. Where he going?
Oh, someone will take that.
I can tell you right now, Houston will take him right now. Houston will take him right now, like now. Immediately.
Houston will take anybody. Yeah, that is.
I will say this: if Brown becomes available, it changes the landscape of this offseason, this upcoming offseason. Because look, think about what we're talking about: players becoming unhappy. Right? We're forgetting that there are a crap ton of players in free agency coming up. If Brown is available, it changes everything because now players are going to wait to see maybe where Brown goes. Do I want to see if I can force my way to go play with Brown? Or, certain things like that. So I think if the Celtics don't win, it makes things very interesting for this offseason, for sure. But yeah, Brown has to go. You don't get rid of Tatum. That's a face.
Are y'all gonna talk crazy if Boston loses, they're gonna get dragged. Does Dallas get dragged if they don't? Not even Dallas. Does Luka or Kyrie get dragged for not winning the championship?
No, not at all.
No one saw this coming.
That's funny. Well, let's get into that then. Let's go ahead and get into that though, because I do believe, this is me talking, I do believe that there are no excuses for the Boston Celtics. None. I don't think outside of them we get in this thing, and I hope not, because the injury guys have not been kind to the NBA this year. Something major happens. I don't know what else they need at this point. And I threw in the easy path thing, but I just threw that in and just throw it in there. You play who's on the schedule, but they have had an easy path, all right? Haven't had to exert a whole lot of energy. You got two guys, your two best players, with your two largest contracts. One just got a ton of money. You had the luxury of sitting Kristaps Porzingis, who you were looking to bring back after game 2 in the last series. And then all of a sudden, we might not need to back. He's brittle anyway. Let's let him rest. You've had that luxury. You've had one of the top 2 defensive teams in the league the entire season, aided by your former guy, Didge, because people say one person can't make things happen. They got significantly better defensively, and you guys got significantly, got worse.
Facts.
Yeah, but that's true.
What it is.
Facts.
You sacrifice defense for offense. You know it.
Yeah.
We did it. We know. We've been there.
64 wins this season. No other team in the NBA even got to 60.
Right.
For me, there is no excuses for the Boston Celtics not winning a title this year. They don't win it, they deserve to get dragged. That's how I feel about it. They do.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that too.
I mean, most of us in the Atlanta car, like,
right? Yes. The Mavericks, though, to me, can't get dragged unless Luka just does not show up. If Luka just plays horribly because the lights are too bright, then maybe. But to me, I don't know. Because to me, does anyone feel as though Boston isn't the better team? Like, to me, it would be different if the Mavericks were like the Nuggets and it was like Nugget Celtics. Then it's like you're both even. So, like, you have the reigning MVP on one side, you know what I'm saying? You don't win, then it's like, yeah, you can get dragged. But to me, nah, man. I think the Mavericks are playing with house money. I think they're playing with house money. I don't look at this team and go, yeah, they'll be back, kind of thing. I feel like they just had a great year. They took advantage of it. And, if they can do it, great. If not, to me, I don't know. I don't put that on Luka. I don't put that. And it wasn't unless he plays that.
They had to get through Denver and Minnesota to get there.
Yeah.
They were the 5th seed. No one saw them being a championship contender.
Right. The teams they had to play, like Oklahoma City, Minnesota, even the Clippers. People were thinking that even the Clippers getting to the playoffs, they were going to flip another switch. Like those 3 teams.
That team should get dragged.
That team
the Clippers.
Yeah, for sure. But
they should blow that team up.
Those 3 teams.
Yes.
No. I felt like there was a distinct number of people who were like, I could see them in the finals, and Dallas had to go through all of them to get there.
Yeah.
I think.
Let's be real. I'm sorry.
I think people that pick the Clippers should get dragged.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Not great judgment there.
The Clippers always, on paper, look like they should, though. That's what's frustrating about the Clippers. And every year they just fall short. It's like, true, health is always a health issue. You knew that going in with Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Nah, but Kawhi should be investigated. Ain't no way it's always injury. I just think that man don't want to play basketball. There's just no way, man. Every time.
Well, didn't he play majority of the series?
Did he? Didn't feel like it. Did he?
That's a good question.
That was a quiet series for the Clippers, man.
Well, no, he played a little bit. Didn't he play like a game or 2?
Yeah. I thought it was more than that.
You talk about
2 games.
You talk about the roads that they travel though. So you think about the Mavs, what they had to go through to get to this series. What they said, they were the first team to beat 3 50-win teams on the road to the finals since the 2010 Lakers? Yeah,
that's crazy.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
I will definitely say the Mavericks earned it, but I would definitely say the team that I looked at that impressed me the most in their playoff run was the Timberwolves. Phoenix, Denver, right? And then the possibility that you could have beaten Dallas to get to the finals. Bruh, the comparisons to Jordan that kid Edwards would have gotten had he beaten all three of those teams to get to the finals and then maybe won it, would have been the worst to have to listen to each week. The worst. Thank God we don't have to worry about that. But no, for Dallas, nah, man. They definitely can win this series because I think the Celtics are fraudulent. But I don't think.
Why do you think
you said what, Ditch?
I'm picking them to
the
win.
Celtics?
Yeah.
I think every time the Celtics are put in a situation where it's win or go home, they go home. Right? So it's like, I just feel like every time it's like, okay, this is the time. Go do it. They lose to the Heat. This is the time. Go do it. They lose to this team. This is the time. Go. Like, think about it. Tatum has been in the Eastern Conference Finals or the Finals almost every other year, every year. And the man still has no championship. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that to me sounds very fraudulent. They're a team that's never finished, I think, lower than the 5th seed in like the last 4 or 5 years. That's fraudulent talks right there. You know what I'm saying? And we would hold any other superstar to that same, that same thought process. So for me, I think they're fraudulent. I really do.
Interesting tendency to play down to their opponent. Like that's the
It's
issue.
not good.
They keep their opponent in the game for way too long. Look, other than game 2 of this Indiana series, everything came down to almost the last possession. Like it was at the end of the game. The Pacers could have won almost all of those games. Like
it's crazy that they swept the Pacers and like lost every series. They got at least a loss in.
So it's like even that Cleveland series, like the Heat series was the only one where it was like, okay, clearly worlds away. We know that you're better than them, and you're showing.
They still lost the game.
They did. They still lost the game, but
Miami Heat turned into like a flamethrower that game.
Yeah, that's true. But like, the Cavs, they won in 5, but majority of those games going into the 4th or going down the stretch of the 4th, it was like, well, this game could kind of go either way, and then the Celtics would either pull away or whatever. But they have never looked throughout, even with that easy run, have looked like, man, this team is just insane. Like it's been playing down to what should be on paper lesser teams, and I don't think they have the luxury of doing that against Dallas because we've seen what Luka can do. We've seen what Kyrie can do. We've seen what the rest of that Dallas team can do.
Oh,
if they try to play down to what on paper is a lesser opponent, Dallas might torch them. And it's a matchup you don't even think about, the backcourt matchup, the best defensive backcourt in the league. You can make that argument for Boston against the best offensive.
Absolutely.
Backcourt. And that's
make that argument. It got to be them, right?
Right. That's what I mean. So you got the best offense and the best defense in terms of like backcourt. It's crazy.
I will say this though. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum talk a lot about being disrespected by the media. Tatum obviously not being taken seriously as an MVP. People speaking on Brown like he's, second fiddle. I will say this. You go win this championship, the media is forced to look at you differently. You lose, they will feel justified going forward. Whatever season you have next year, they will find someone to put ahead of you, Jason Tatum. They did it this year. You had a phenomenal season, and they found every reason to not vote for you. Every conceivable reason. So for me, this is a big year for Jason Tatum. Because remember, Didge, when I said, what was it, a year or 2 ago, that Jason Tatum was a top 5 player, and you were like, I don't know.
That was a couple years ago.
This is the time to really put yourself in there, Jason, because you lose against Dallas. I don't know, man. I don't know. League is getting better, and Anthony Edwards might replace you. You know what I'm saying? So this is the time to do it. You want more respect? Go take it.
To be honest, Shea might have replaced him. He had him.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. Sure. Yeah.
Well, check
that
this.
Team is just starting up.
That's good that you brought that up because I'm gonna start with you. Let's talk about legacies then, bro. Because we're talking about two of the biggest stars in the game today. Who has more of their legacy on the line in this particular series? Is it, winning this championship? Is it going to be Tatum or is it going to be Luka?
I think it's Tatum easily. I have to say Tatum. I'm required to say Tatum because about 4 years ago, I said Luka was going to be GOAT adjacent by the end of his career. Okay. Remember that?
Yep, I do.
I said it. I want to pay everybody. Oh, no, he ain't. How you going to say that? It's too early. Dog, we're seeing it. The man been a pro for 7 years at that time already.
Right.
You can see he has everything you need to be in that GOAT conversation. Although, I think if you look at the list, just off topic, if you look at the list of like top 10s for most people, most of those people played both sides of the ball pretty well. Like, right. Offensively, obviously, but most of them played. I can't even think of one off the top of my head that isn't Steph. If you want to say Steph is not a good defender, he's a willing defender. You're not saying he's a good defender, but I think everybody else is pretty much good defenders. You're not going to say Luka's a good defender. Although I think he plays better defense than people give him credit for. At least he tries. They tried to compare him to James Harden. I was like, hold on, bro. Harden be out there, just olaying people for real. Like, literally olaying people. 100%. Luka be trying to play defense. Anyway, yeah, I think it's Tatum just because of what Juwan said and them being there, being so close so many times. And Tatum has been the leader of the team. It's, he gets all the credit. He doesn't get all the blame necessarily, but he gets all the credit, most of the time for most people. So I think that goes towards him just because they've been there with the team that's been able to get there, as opposed to Luka, who's always had to drag his team wherever they go, not necessarily by himself, but pretty much by himself until Kyrie got there. And the fact that, I'm just going to throw this in there too, Dallas got better when Tim Hardaway got off the court. Nothing against Tim Hardaway.
He was out of the rotation. He's just out of the rotation now.
So much better. Yep. So much better.
That's crazy.
Trust me, as the team that drafted him, we know. We get it. We know. Drafted him, got rid of him, brought him back, got rid of him again. We know. We get it. We understand. We know. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. No, it's like you said. It's Tatum, and to me, it's not even close. It's just not. I mean, since he's gotten the league, has he not always had a really good team around him? Now we gave him, a pass because those were the growing years. But his growing years, they were hitting Eastern Conference Finals, right? So it's like, bro, we can't keep giving you this pass, and then you want to be in the top 5 conversation. I'm sorry, that's not how that works. You can't keep losing and want to sit at the winner's table. That's not how that works. It's not how we would treat Giannis. It's not how we would treat LeBron. It's not how we would treat Curry. So it's like, you need to win. I believe the Luka situation is different because I do believe if they lose in this finals, let's say it's in 4 games, 7 games, 5 games, whatever, that team will find a way to get better. Luka will get better. Next year will probably be a Luka MVP season, right? And I believe once you hit that MVP season, your clock starts right then. You need to have a championship. So for me, I kind of just feel like Tatum has been playing on championship-worthy teams, and those teams don't win. And that has to fall on the leader, which is Tatum. So for me, all the pressure should go to Tatum. Legacy is on the line for Tatum. Because here's the problem, Source. The Eastern Conference is getting better. I know people like to poo-poo on the Eastern Conference, like this is back in the LeBron years or something. No. But the Eastern Conference is going to get better. We just saw the Magic, right? They're on the rise. We got to see what Cleveland's going to do. I have no idea what's happening with that organization. The Pacers, the Knicks, the Bucks, they were just healthy. Miami, healthy, right? So it's like the East is going to get better. You're not going to have these easy rides to the finals. This is your time to put up or shut up. And if you're forced to shut up, it's not going to be good for that man's legacy. So to me, I think Luka's legacy will be I think he's going to be a numbers guy, Source. I think he's going to get a championship and then just be a numbers guy, a guy that puts up crazy numbers, breaks all kinds of crazy records and whatnot. So his legacy will be different. But Tatum, he's got to go get it done. There's just no more excuses.
I'm going to go the same route as Jawan for a different reason. I was looking up the numbers. So, obviously, he's been in the league 7 years. He's been in the playoffs every 7 years. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals 5 of those 7 years. Obviously, two times now, he'll have been in the finals with that. The problem is, as they go deeper in the playoffs, his numbers get worse. So, as the lights get brighter, he tends to fade more. And that's an issue when your team isn't obviously getting the final job done, but you're also the leader of that team. And I don't mean numbers only as in points per game, rebounds. I mean the percentages go down. So as the lights get brighter, as things start to show more on him, he tends to fade away. And that's like I said, that's just a huge issue. So not only do you need to change that, but you kind of need to show that, well, I was the reason that we won this. Like you can't get carried to this final. You can't get carried to this. Like if Brown goes off and y'all win because he's averaging 33, 35, whatever a game, going crazy, that still doesn't look good. Because are you the face of the team then? No, you were Robin, and you won because of that. So I do think the legacy is on him not only to win, but he has to sort of be one of the leading reasons why they win.
I agree with that. Real quick, Joel. I've always been that guy when we're talking about any sport, when they're talking about how many rings somebody has, right? Or they won, or you got one ring. How did you perform, during that championship game? How did you perform during that championship series? Am I going to goat you or put you as one of the goats just because you got that ring? How significant were you in that run? You know what I'm saying? During the regular season, at least. I mean, during the regular season, how was your regular season? If you were fortunate, how were you in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? How were you during that series? So I think he definitely has to show out for people. Because I don't think them just winning it changes the overall perspective for most NBA fans on who he is. Mm-hmm. I think he has to be that guy if we're talking about changing the perspective. Joel, what you got?
No, I agree. Especially if you're comparing the two, it's just Tatum right now. He's been in the same spot, or at least close to the same spot almost every year. It's like that team is always good. It just seems like, right? And like right now, they're as top heavy as they've been in terms of like their starting five. And they might not have the strongest bench, but and they've been lucky. I mean, KP hasn't even played, so imagine that they're going to probably get stronger. You would imagine with KP coming back, and this is as much help as he's had. Right, you got KP, you got Drew Holiday. They brought in Derek White is really good, like underratedly good. Al Horford, even though he's old as shit, is still consistently a pain in the ass, and that you got to give him credit for hustling out there. And I mean, Tatum this is his time because like we were talking about earlier, is like we were only a couple of years ago he was in the finals and he kind of fell flat at the end of it, and that was a couple of years ago. We were talking about, like, is he the man, right? Is he one of the best players in the league? And we're at a point now where, like, he's been there or at least close to there every year, and it's just, like, it's make or break time because, like, they might not get another shot like this again. I don't know what happens to this team next year, and everyone around them is just going to get better. So this year, Jaylen Brown won the MVP for the conference finals, right? I think it was, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
He got something. And he basically led to that win. Now, Jason Tatum had his moments for sure, but Tatum, but Brown definitely was the face of that conference finals. Now, as long as if I was a Celtic fan, I don't give a fuck how we win. I just want to win.
Oh
right?
yeah, so, sure.
But obviously for Tatum's legacy, he's gonna have to steer that ship, especially if you're comparing it to Luka, who it's not in the same vein because they missed the playoffs last year on purpose, but still they missed the playoffs last year, and right now they're in the finals. We're talking a year away, so that trade ended up working out. Now it was a year later, but that backcourt worked out, and then they added some supplemental pieces to the team. And to me, they're not as stacked as the Boston Celtics, but they're obviously talent-wise. Luka Doncic by himself might be a bigger star, especially offensively. Like what he is just like different. And Kyrie is not no slouch as a backcourt mate. He's proven that. The clutchest fucking backcourt in the league.
He's even playing some defense in these playoffs.
Yeah, and he's
I don't even know who I'm watching.
He's probably the better defender, honestly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Y'all remember when everybody was talking about how both of them are going to coexist? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Luka will have the ball all the time. You remember that?
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, I didn't know how well it was gonna work, and it didn't look like it was gonna work. Because, like I said, they purposely, basically, didn't make the playoffs this year, basically to screw us. But whatever. The point is, a year later, it's worked out. It worked out, and obviously now it's Jason Tatum's turn and to prove his legacy in Boston and his legacy to the NBA. Because again, you can't. This is why you take care of stuff now, because you don't know what like tomorrow's gonna bring.
Mm-hmm.
And Prime, to Dig's point, Dig's great point. Tatum has to realize this big important thing when he talks about wanting to be looked at as a top 5 player. Here's why he can't be, to Dig's point. We struggle to figure out who's the better player between Brown and Tatum any given night. You don't look at the Nuggets and go, Jokic or Murray. You don't look at the Bucks and go, Giannis or Lillard. No, it's definitive. Giannis, Jokic, Anthony Edwards, right? Embiid. It's why when you look at those guys, you go, clearly top 5 kind of guys.
Even in Dallas,
you look at the Celtics and you go,
Kyrie.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. Every time I look at Tatum, I sing these same lyrics to myself. Is that a world tour or your girls tour? I don't know. You know? Is it? Like, is it you? Is it him? I don't know. So for me, it's like, this is the time to show them, hey, I love my brother in Brown. This is my team. This is going to be led by me. This is the time to do it. You don't do it now. I'm telling you, that's one of the reasons why they did not vote him heavily for MVP, because you look at that team and you go, is it you or Brown? I don't know, you know? So for me, that's definitely the biggest issue for him going forward as far as legacy. You're being kind of carried sometimes by that guy. That's not a good. I don't remember the last time I looked at a Steph, like when Steph was doing finals outside of the KD years, obviously. That last finals they just won, was Curry carried by anybody? I think Curry came out and said, no. I got this. Step aside. I got this, right? You got to have that kind of moment, and Tatum just never does.
Very fair.
What do you think? Now, let's say he goes out and Tatum has this crazy finals, shows out the way we're talking about that he needs to be up there. Or even Luka in this matter. Luka comes out and has this crazy finals, putting up numbers.
Luka gonna put up numbers.
Do you think that either one of these guys, do you think it will spark the debate that either one of these players is in contention for the best player in the league?
No.
I say yes in Luka's case.
I think so too, especially offensively at least. But
yeah, it's already people are already saying Luka's the best player in the league. So it's
the best offensive player in the league.
Yeah,
I'll give you that for sure.
I can't give him that. I can't give him that.
Player?
Offensive player? Like, who's better?
Yeah.
Embiid?
I'm going to give it to the guy who keeps winning MVPs. That's
the Joker.
I'm going to give
Jokic.
I'm going to give it to
I think it's a serious conversation, though.
I do too. I mean,
I think you're going to have a serious conversation about this. If Luka, if the Mavs win and Luka goes crazy, I think it's going to be a serious conversation. I know it's just 1 year, but you're going to hear it loud that people are going to say that he is the best player over Jokic. You know, we're a year
to me,
year.
You got it. To me, you got it. You got to do what I did, right? You got to get an MVP. Then the next year, you got to go get an MVP.
MVP is tough because MVP is, as much as you don't want to say it, is a popularity contest.
For sure, 100%. Go be more popular then.
Go be more popular.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I mean, to go back to your saying that Jokic is clearly the better offensive player. I'm curious as to where, because Luka scores more than him, he assists more than him. Those are probably your two main offensive stats. Where is he better than?
He's just more dominant in the game than Luka is.
Oh, that's a good question, though.
Is he?
He is more dominant in the game than Luka is. Because when you think about this, right? Now I know this year it does not look good because the team beat the Nuggets, the Mavericks beat. Completely understand that, right? But my thing is, it's like Jokic. If we're gonna say Luka Doncic is the best player, right? Best offensive player in the NBA, and you're saying it just comes down to scoring more and assisting more, right? So if that's what you're saying, so then we're saying the bar isn't MVP, it isn't championship. It's just your offensive workload.
Well, you don't need to be the best scorer to be MVP.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we're going,
that's what I'm saying. So if we're taking that out,
yeah,
if we're taking that out, then
it has.
If we're taking that out, then I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
How many years is Melo was the best offensive player, but not the best player?
Yeah,
right.
Sorry, I don't know the answer. I just wanted to say that. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I'm one. You know how many players keep saying the most unguardable player was Melo? That man was a guaranteed bucket.
Yeah, Kobe said at the Olympic joint.
Yeah. But no, you know what, Ditch? I'll give it to you, but then I'm gonna hold you to that bar then. Because if Anthony Edwards ends next season scoring more points than Luka Doncic, I want the narrative to be rewritten.
But
what so I'll give it to you.
Don't forget the assist.
He won't.
Anthony's don't. As much as that man wants to be Jordan, he's Kobe at heart. You know what? I just felt I think Luka has is given more of an offensive burden because his teams usually aren't that good. I think this year it was a lot more free flowing because you can't double Luka because Kyrie is just sitting right there, so he's able to kind of just inflict more. You said what?
You said this year is different, but he scored more per game this year than he has any year.
No, I'm saying this year's different because he has Kyrie, so you can't focus on Luka because you can't double him. So you're going one-on-one with Luka, and he's going to win that every time, right? Yeah, so I'm saying it helps his case. Jokic, I will say this, though. No one really talks about this. I kind of feel like Jamal Murray throughout the season kind of leaves Jokic hanging a lot. Like Jokic's offensive burden is a lot during the regular season. Now, Murray shows up anytime he plays the Lakers. You tell him he's playing the Lakers 82 games, that man will turn into Michael Jordan. But when it's outside the Lakers, it's just, I don't know, he just sometimes disappears. So, but you know what? Like I said, Didge, I'll give it to you. Luka, that's offensive player. I'll give it to you. But that's the bar. It's points per game.
I can't think of anything else that would work. So
I mean, like,
I'll give it to you.
Like it's hard to stop Luka to do anything almost. It's insane. Like he's a menace.
I will say it's hard to stop Jokic.
To me, but you can make an argument Embiid's a better offensive player than fucking Jokic.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just one-on-one. Like Embiid's a harder guard.
I know. I'm gonna step
you can say that.
No, I'm gonna step that.
I don't know, man. It's so close.
I think Embiid at full strength is a better offensive player than Jokic.
I agree. Jokic isn't athletic. That's the part where it's like Embiid. But like Embiid, he has those movements that are. I don't know how Jokic gets around so many people sometimes because you look at it.
It's insane.
This is insane.
You know how that body mass. That's how.
Jokic is a fucking unicorn in that regard.
For sure.
He's so low center of gravity. It's like, how do you move so quickly?
You know what?
One more time. I got to give myself credit every once in a while.
Do it.
You already know what it is, Pride. I said it when they got rid of Nurkic in Denver. Said this dude is going to be a problem. He was like, no, he ain't. What you talking about? 3 MVPs later. Here we are. Just saying. Just throwing.
I don't think anyone saw 3 MVPs though.
Oh no.
And I I believe one of the MVPs is a bit fraudulent.
Yeah, or even one.
One of them, to be honest, but you know.
No, but
no, yeah.
He was a second round pick. That's insane.
No. Wait. Source and Didge. I want to ask you guys this question. All jokes aside, this is a legit question. When you guys watched Jalen Brunson this season, did you feel like he should have been considered more for MVP? Or do you think the one lonely vote he got was all he needed, was all he deserved for the season that he is from January to when the playoffs started? That man was easily one of the 3 best players in the NBA. Easily. One of the 3. whatever two you want to put next to him, Shea, Anthony, whatever, mix out, whatever. Easily in the top 3 of best players from that stretch. Not the whole season. I won't say whole season, but just from that stretch. You guys disagree with that?
I do think they got the top 5 right. I think the order is wrong in some spots, but I do think they got the top 5 right.
What was?
Let me ask you this: was your guy in the top 5? Didge?
He was.
Yeah, okay, I should have took you out.
But he's also. I also don't think that he should have been top 3. So I think 4 for Giannis is fine. I do think 4 where Giannis is fine.
Okay.
I would have
top 5 too.
I would have flipped Shea and and Jokic. I think Shea should have won it.
I agree there. I'm not saying Brunson should have won it.
Shea should have won it for sure. But
right. But I'm saying, to me, people were talking highly of Anthony Edwards. They were talking highly. First of all, Jokic is starting to become a copy and paste player.
How much credit do you want?
Look, source. In like the last 30 years, we've only gotten close to an MVP twice. It's like Melo that one year where we got disrespected. A Boston reporter gave Melo that one lonely vote. Okay. Yeah. And then this year, like, it's like we don't have many chances for this. Okay.
Did Patrick Ewing win one?
I'm sorry, not 30 years. I went too far. Not 30 years. Last 15. Last 15.
Very well, Patrick ain't get one, man. Come on.
I honestly thought he might have. I honestly thought he might have.
He might have in the height of Jordan and Olajuwon.
He was runner up, I think, in '96. That was wrong.
Okay. I honestly thought they might have snuck one in for him. I'm not even.
He was in contention.
Okay.
I think everybody that finished behind. Pause necessary. I think everybody that finished behind Michael Jordan deserves an MVP, like a little trophy. So they could be without Jordan MVP or something.
The participation
trophy. It should just say we're here too, right? Like it was just Jordan.
I survived the Jordan era.
So they're gonna get that. They get a little trophy, one little cupcakes, and one of them little coolie drinks.
Yeah, right.
Jordan era MVP. That's it right there.
You go. There's a lot of
but no, I just thought if we're going best players, I think the top 3 should have just been Shea, Anthony, and Brunson. I really do. I really honestly do.
I feel like that's a sort of as the year, like last couple months of the year, because it's tough to say what Jokic and what Luka did wasn't top 3 MVP candidate. Giannis, the stats that he did this year, I'm not even caping for my guy here, but the stats that he put up this year hadn't been seen.
So I'll give you Giannis in the top 5. My true issue is Jokic just keeps having these copy and paste seasons, right? And for me, it's like unless his numbers. Say it again, Didge.
They're really good. Like I get
Didge, but here's my issue though. Here's my issue. If someone's getting MVP 3 times. Your first time, your number should have went from like 18 to 24. Your second time, 24 to like 30. Your third time, I'm sorry, your numbers have to go from like 30 to like 35. Like it has to be transcendent leaps if we're giving it to you 3 years almost consecutively. Like to me, that's a massive problem because what are you saying to the rest of the league? Like your best job isn't close to his average day. Like, what are we doing here? Because I don't recall LeBron just getting it for just being LeBron. And he could have every year, right? That's essentially what we're doing to Jokic. You just woke up Jokic. We're going to reward you for that. Here you go.
Did you want to hear the top 10 for the MVP?
Yeah.
What was the top 10?
All right. So, obviously, Jokic won it. So, Jokic won. Shea 2, Luka 3, Giannis 4, Tatum 5. And then the next 5 are Sabonis, Edwards, Brunson, Durant, Booker.
Oh, okay. No, I thought Brunson was top 5. I do take it back.
5.
Brunson should have been 5.
Thank you. That's all I need.
5. That's all.
I clearly looked at the wrong list. This must have been Zach Lowe's. This must have been his ballot specifically because they had Brunson at 5. I'm like, oh no, this looks right. What are you talking about?
Brunson was not in that conversation. He was not in that conversation.
Hey, Source. So you said you think 5 is good? You think he should be 5?
Yeah.
Like at 5 or in the top 5?
No, at 5. We're not going higher than 5. Like that. What are we doing? You even said January 2. So if you started with January,
they also finished in the 2nd seed. No one saw the Knicks doing that.
He did a great job. Proud of him.
So wait, so you have Giannis ahead of him?
Yeah, I'm good with Giannis ahead of him. Nobody else that was stated though.
Man.
Not Tatum.
Nobody has done 30, 11, and 6 ever.
I get you. I get you, Didge.
You could argue that. You could argue that.
Didge.
I won't argue.
I get you, but I will argue this, Source and Didge. I watched the Cavaliers and I watched the Bucks duck the smoke of being the 2nd seed, so they did not have to play the Sixers. I saw it. Didge. That's not MVP behavior. That's not MVP behavior.
I'll buy it.
Giannis wasn't playing. Don't do that. Giannis didn't play. Giannis didn't play.
Oh my God! I watched the Bucks and the Cavaliers go
groceries.
Hey guys,
I watched them duck the smoke, man.
Let me ask you this then. Let's just before we pick the game. What's the better duo?
Ooh, this is tough.
I tell you this. It's purely dependent on if Brown and Tatum accept the challenge. Because I can tell you this right now. Brown plays defense well enough, he could go shut down Kyrie. He plays defense well enough, he can go take Kyrie out of that game. You just let Luka do what he needs to do. And if you can shut down Kyrie and keep the rest of that team at bay, Luka's going to have to drop 80 to beat you every game. So if Brown takes that responsibility of taking on Kyrie, I think the better duo is Brown and Tatum. But if they are the typical duo they always are, Luka and Kyrie are about to blow them off the court easily. But if you're talking like Didge was saying, better scoring duo, it's clearly Kyrie and Luka. It's not even close, right?
Yeah, I mean, Luka's clearly the best player of the 4 that are shown right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think Kyrie is close. I'm going to go Kyrie and Luka because I think Kyrie is close enough to the skill of Tatum and Brown where it's like, like I said, I don't even think it's close how much better Luka is to those two. And it could just be because they have to constantly play together and they're sharing so much of the load together. But it just feels like Luka's the best player on the court, and Kyrie, if you were to flip like Kyrie and Brown or whatever, let's say, I feel like you're not losing that much from that Celtics team. So I just because the other 3 are so close together, I gotta go Luka and Kyrie. Now the rest of the team, on paper, Boston should have this.
You know what's crazy about this photo, Prime?
What's that?
3 out of these 4 players were on the same team and couldn't win the championship.
Insane.
Yeah.
They were young. 2 of them were very young at the time.
I think Kyrie got hurt. I think he got hurt that last series.
I think he was hurt,
yeah. I know the series. I know before he got hurt, he was throwing up like goose eggs. Like he was struggling horribly and then got injured. But I just thought that was funny looking at these duos. Like 3 of y'all played together. Still couldn't get over that. That's crazy.
They swapped. I was gonna say they swapped partners.
They swapped. Yeah, Kyrie and Porzingis.
And KP is now in Boston.
People forget about KP being over there as well.
Yeah, for a hot second.
And that was literally like 2 years ago.
Joel, what you think?
Yeah, that was one.
You think about these duos here? What you think?
Oh man, I think on paper, at least at the start of the season, you could look at it and go, the best duo should be Tatum and Brown. But because, at the time, Kyrie was just not living up to what his potential is, because he's one of the better players in the league when he wants to be. And look, he put up the numbers. Like, it's not like they're both all, like, in between the 4 of them, they are putting all like all-star caliber numbers.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's insane. So I think because it's so close, I would say whoever wins this series is the better duo.
Oh, that's a cop out. No,
Come on, Joel.
Make him answer. That was a cop out.
Oh man, it's true. Like it's like whoever the best. It's tough. It's that close to me.
But
it's look. I think the best offensive duo is definitely Kyrie and Luka, in my opinion. And that's tough because Brown. It's not like Brown and Tatum can't score. Right. They're both averaging over 20-something a game, but so are Luka and Kyrie do the same thing. The only difference for me is
last game, right, is a pair. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's again, like, they're the best offensive, not just backcourt duo. They're probably the best back. They're just, it just is. They're ridiculously hard to guard. Do they defend on the level of a Tatum and Brown? That's really the argument there, in my opinion. But
we gotta bring in the revenge factor. You know, Kyrie might be out for revenge.
He might, but I'm
telling you, that Boston crowd is going to be racist. They're going to take it up 50 notches. I guarantee you, Kyrie's going to have someone thrown out of one of these.
You know what really sucks about that is, it's more definitely one-sided towards the Boston fan base and Kyrie, because that Boston team doesn't hate him. So it's like, it's really the fans hate him, and it's one of those things like they can't bring the same level of hate because they don't hate Kyrie. They were friends with him and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wes, that's a crazy statement. That's crazy.
What did he say?
That Kyrie is more deadly than either one Brown or Tatum. It's no comparison. I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, that's not.
I don't know.
There's only one guy out of those four that might end up with 9 or 11 points, and that's Kyrie. Nobody else is ending up with 9 points, 11 points.
I don't know.
You don't think Tatum?
I don't know, man.
Stop sleeping on Jason Tatum.
Stop sleeping on Jason Tatum. Okay. In a negative way.
I like the guy, but I'm just saying.
I'm telling you right now, Sorts, we're gonna come back to this moment and go, man.
All right.
Yeah. Remember, it's gonna be that game, and Tatum gonna go to the half like 2 of 12 from the floor. Oh boy, is this the day?
Wait, Prom, you know what's gonna make it worse? It's gonna be because PJ Washington was guarding him. You're gonna be like, that guy? That's why you ended the game with 2 points? All right, you got it, Tatum. You got it. No, but you are right, because Kyrie is like a shooter, a quasi shooter, right? He's mainly he drives it to the basket.
He can shoot.
He can, but that's why I agree with Source that he's liable to have one of those bad shooting games.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know, man. I think when we talk, remember we were talking legacy. I think what we forgot is Kyrie in this scenario, right? His legacy to this point was you were one of LeBron's, passengers, right? This is Kyrie's chance to say, all of you were wrong. All of you were wrong. I can go get it done. Obviously not as the best player, but I can be part of something and go get it done. And if I win, you got to respect me more for not only helping LeBron get that championship, but for the player that I am in my own personal legacy. So I think more so than anyone else, Kyrie needs this. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joel.
I wanted to correct myself. I looked at the final voting results for the MVP. I looked at the website, and I guess that was not the final, total voting results that came out when the MVP dropped. So the actual end results were basically the same, but there's a little slight difference. Jokic, Shea, Luka, Giannis, that stays the same. Brunson ended up fifth.
Well,
I was right.
And then it was Tatum, Edwards, Sabonis, and Durant.
Okay.
Durant.
You're forgiven, Ditch. You're forgiven.
That was a correction.
So
he was trailing.
Tatum didn't finish top 5, so he's definitely having a
but he did get first team All NBA for some reason. So whatever.
Yeah, Tatum's definitely having an 11-point game in this series now.
Yeah.
Hey, you see my point from that post the other day when they were talking about Kyrie was 14-0 in closeout games.
Yeah.
I said, I wouldn't even be a negative about Kyrie. I'm just saying he's never been the guy on any of those teams. So that's a cool stat. But okay,
good point actually.
Somebody tried to go, you trying to compare him to Ori. I ain't saying he's Robert Ori. I'm just saying he's never been the guy on those teams. So it can't be the same.
The guy that Boston team.
Huh? But you shouldn't count that because they went nowhere. They did nothing.
And he was hurt.
And Kyrie's legacy, unfortunately, will always be you are the best second ever, right? Not ever, like in history, but I mean, like in his time of being you're a great second. There's no shame to that, right? Not everyone can be number one. You played next to LeBron for forever. You were never going to be number one. No, that's what I said. Not ever. I mean, just in Kyrie's time.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying Scottie Pippen made a whole career of that.
Right, exactly, right. I mean, you talk to Scottie now, he'll tell you he wasn't the second best. But
I mean,
he does that to the soul. But yeah, Kyrie just has to understand that, and once he does, he'll be a lot happier inside. Like, bro, you're just a great number two. I mean, look, you keep playing next to transcendent players.
He's good.
Yeah, he seems very happy now.
He looks pretty happy now.
And he's the only one. He's the only person that, one of the stars in this series that has a ring. So there's that.
This is true. He's been there and done that.
You think Kyrie's gonna be fine regardless?
No, he's not. No, he's not.
He said one
just gonna disrespect Drew Holiday.
He said one hug.
No, we're talking about the star.
He said he's the only one. I'm sorry. I was about to say, hold on.
And
Drew definitely has one, but he's not on this level.
He's also not
Hey, time out. Hold on now. I don't think the Bucks get that without Drew Holiday now.
I agree, but he's a defensive all-star. You know what I mean? Like,
he was playing like the second best player. I can tell you that right now. That man was putting in work in that finals run.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Drew Holiday had to sacrifice beyond his Boston team, because offensively at least, because he's like, I got to share. There's a lot of people to share with. And
people forget his Pelican years, man. People really do forget his Pelican years.
He was an all-star in Philly.
He was an all-star in Philly. He was. Wait, what was it? Was he playing with Iguodala and those guys? Or was he after?
No, I
thought he was with Iguodala and them, right?
That's what I thought.
It must have been late. It was late then.
It was like he got traded right to Denver.
Source. I was so wrong in those years, man. I kept saying Iguodala was going to be a superstar. Those Philly years had me high.
He had the body of.
Well, I mean, not a superstar, but he was a star in his own right.
That's another guy that was really good.
To an extent.
He was a good
I thought the biggest flaw was they kept running into the Miami Heat. It was like,
I mean, that was inevitable, though.
Right. Now you can do, guys.
They had the power forward, that Philly squad. It was. Whew.
Hey, so if we didn't get your which duo?
Which duo is better, just in general?
Yep.
Tatum and Brown.
He said it with confidence.
He did.
Yeah. They both are at the top, near the top in offense. I mean, offensively and defensively.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Offense over that side. So, and I don't know if y'all ever talked about the argument of best backcourt duo or best offensive backcourt duo, but I'm not mad at anybody that says these two, because if you're talking about individual players getting buckets, they got to be in the conversation. It's tough to say they're a better backcourt duo than Steph and Clay just offensively, but I get it if you're just looking at them as individuals who play offense.
Right.
I get it.
I don't know. Are we not taking Brunson and DiVincenzo seriously?
I mean, Juwan definitely is. DiVincenzo had 30 plus. What do you mean?
34.
DiVincenzo is a poor man's Clay. Give him some credit. No.
Big Ragu. It's like, yeah.
Very poor man. Very poor man.
Hey, let's pick this game, guys. Let's pick this series out. I'm sorry. So, we don't have basketball. What is it? Series on Thursday?
Yeah.
Is it really?
No NBA.
You know what's crazy about that, Prime?
Now
They rushed us to get to the finals, and it was just like, all right, now just take a week. It's like, but you rushed the Eastern Conference, Western Conference, so you could get to the finals. You hear now we still gotta wait. Insane.
Thursday.
We all on night games now, so I think every game is at 8:30, except for maybe one is at 8:00. So it'll all be night games. Yeah, but no basketball till no NBA till Thursday.
Yeah, you say basketball, Prime.
The WNBA have no games tomorrow, so it's just nothing tomorrow. I gotta watch baseball. I'm good.
You guys gotta become WNBA fans, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Or wrestling. We'll go watch wrestling tomorrow.
There's no WNBA tomorrow. Today I'm fine.
Go watch wrestling tomorrow.
I'm gonna watch
wrestling.
Later.
Watch wrestling.
Watch some good old wrestling.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all this real quick. Before we pick, I feel like I'm not mad because I'm about to support. Y'all know darn well. Source and I support the mess out of the women's game. We love the women's college basketball. We love the WNBA. I buy the women's league pass every year, right? It went up a little bit this year. Fine. It's $35. I'm fine with it. It's the amount of games they've had on Amazon Prime, ESPN, and the Ion channel. I almost feel like I didn't need it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're showing everything. I'm like, I could have kept that 35. But nah, I'm not. I'm gonna support it.
I feel the same way. It reminded me that league pass, no matter the league, I hate it. So yeah. NBA league pass, I hate it. WNBA league pass, I hate
it. It's crazy.
That's not bad because you can only watch that shit on Apple. That's it. You ain't watching it anywhere else.
But this series, guys, so we're down to it. So let's start with you. Who you picking in this series?
Boston 4-2.
Boston. He said everything with confidence today. I like it.
He's not even second guessing. So I'm here like, man, I don't even know who's going to win.
Juwan, who you got?
I feel like I gotta go. It's hard, but the other way. I'm gonna say Dallas 4-2. Dallas 4-2.
I like it. I like it.
And I'm gonna go a step further. Dallas wins game 1.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just
still home court.
Yep. Dallas wins game 1.
Still home court.
Joel.
You know I'm not good at this.
Knicks in 6.
The Knicks run out like runs out.
I don't know how they manage it. They're there.
The Dallas Knicks. Why not, right?
I mean, it's funny about this matchup is that it's also like I forget how many years it has been, but every year there's always a former Knick that's been part of the finals between the teams, and there's 3 of them. There's 3 former Knicks in this matchup, so it's so funny.
That's something only a Knicks fan I think of.
But it's a thing. I saw it on. It was on ESPN last year. It was like this is like the 50th year in a row. There's a former Knick. That's funny that someone tracks that shit. But Dallas, Boston. I got asked this question the other day, and I'm like, on paper, I want to say it's Boston. Best record. They have more talent. I want to say overall, not just top tier talent, but they have the top two of the best duos in the league. Dallas, Boston, easy. It's like, what is your surrounding unit? Like, obviously, PJ Washington having a good year. Derrick Jones played really well. They picked up what's his name to play center. It's tough, man. I think if KP plays, I'll lean Boston, but part of me is definitely going Dallas, and it's gonna be. Oh man, that's tough, man.
Wait, Joel.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dallas.
KP is playing.
KP is gonna play.
That's what I just saw.
It said.
Then it's Dallas at 7.
It changed nothing.
I was leaning, but I was like Boston, but like fuck it, Dallas.
What you got, Didge?
Dallas in 6, easily.
Dallas in 6.
Dallas wins game 1.
I think I like Dallas too. I just tell Boston proves to me that they can actually do what they're supposed to be doing. I can't pick them. And we talked about a lot of the key pieces during our conversations, with about Boston and Drew Holiday and some of the other guys there. We got to look at how amazing PJ Washington and Gafford have been. Gafford had been for what I'm saying, for the Mavs.
Will Lively be healthy?
Think about it. They could have been sitting in DC, right? Who would want to be there right now?
But my God, that's right. They had Gafford and KP were part of DC last year.
They went DC.
And now they're in the finals. Oh my God.
They balling. And it's experience factor. I know Mazzulla, he took an extra step with this squad this year over in Boston, and they look darn good. But I look at Jason Kidd, man. I mean, Jason Kidd is a finals vet. I mean, he went to back-to-back finals and lost. He went to the finals with the Mavs and won. Was it 2011? Whenever they won.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So he's used to being in the finals, and I like to see J. Kidd get this one, man. Add that thing to the resume. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take the Mavs. I'm going to take the Mavs. I'm going to take the Mavs and 6.
And let's be real, none of us want to see KP get a championship. Let's be real.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I just don't want to see Boston win. I don't care who's on.
At this point, Boston is what Boston is. KP can't get a championship.
Get KP.
Yeah, 100%. That's mad hate. He can't get a championship. That one guy.
That's also fine. He's on Boston. So I'm with you.
Sorry. You disrespected us. You can't get a championship. Yeah, sorry. Part of me doesn't even want Kyrie to get one either.
I ain't got no problem with Kyrie getting another one. So,
I do.
Couple of quick things. We got our picks in there. I just want to ask y'all a couple of quick things about that came up. Both of these picks that I'm about to put up were posted by The Score. Shout out to them. First up, the ridiculous comments from, which we expect anyway. Gilbert Arenas is going to be Gilbert, right? But I don't know if you guys saw this. But what are your thoughts?
What?
Steph is not a generational talent. Generational means you can't mimic it.
Let me say this. It's blasphemy. I think we can all agree there. He's not necessarily wrong. He's using the wrong words for it. And I'll say that because when you listen to the hip-hop conversations, right, and they talk about the greats, what do all the hip-hop, old heads keep saying? I don't see nobody dressing like you. Nobody ever wanted to be you, so you can't be one of the greatest of all time because whoever wants, right? So it's like when you think of generational, you think of something that is okay, once every generation is someone like that. We are watching a league of guys that try to be Steph Curry every single day. There is no one outside of maybe Luka and Jokic, maybe, that can emulate what LeBron is and was, right? So it's just harder to be LeBron. I think he maybe used the wrong words, and maybe that's where the problem is, because Steph is a generational talent. Because if he's not, then we can't say AI is, and I wholeheartedly believe AI is, right? So for me, I do think it is generational. But I think you can find more Steph Curry clones than you can a Jordan clone, a LeBron clone. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So I think he just used the wrong words. Is where I stand.
Yeah, I would agree because I think that is why Steph is a generational talent. Like you're saying, he transformed the league, even down to. I was just talking to my brother. My nephew graduated yesterday, so we were back at my old high school.
Congrats!
And yeah, definitely congrats to him. But I was talking to my brother. He was like, "Yeah, I came for one of their basketball games, during the high school basketball season." He was like, every player was shooting threes like Steph. He was like, "There's a dude. I guess there was a dude there who he said. Granted, this is estimation. He was like, he has to be 6'9", 6'10". So you think in high school he should be down in the post, being a Shaq type. And he was like, I saw him get the ball, run like he's Steph, and stop at the three and just throw it, and it was nothing but net. And that's what all these kids are doing now. And that's what Steph has turned not just the NBA but the game of basketball into. And you don't mimic people who are just good. Like you mimic people who are transcendent. So you gotta say that stuff is transcendent.
Yep.
And him saying that it means that you can't mimic it, that to me makes no sense because generational talents, people constantly want to mimic, right?
Yeah.
Like you constantly want to be like that once in a lifetime kind of guy.
Everybody
the difference
is like Mike. You remember that, right? Because everybody wanted to be like Mike.
Exactly, right. And that's how we got Kobe the way we got Kobe, right? It was from Mike.
I like how you tried to I like how you threw in the I didn't.
No. Yeah, we were watching the I Want to Be Like Ewing commercials, Didge. That's what we were watching.
Oh.
That's harder when you're big. Like, here's the thing. Steph is much easier to emulate because he's not an athletic freak. You know what I mean? He is a sniper. And usually that's easier to mimic. I want to be like a great shooter. Thing is, you can't mimic him because he is the greatest shooter. No one can hit on that clip. Right. Not the distance. That's the problem. You can't. You can try to mimic him, but you're just being your false copy. It's just very hard to mimic that. Actually, like that's my problem. Sure. But like, Gilbert is full of it most of the time anyway. But to me, like I kind of think I understand what he's trying to say. But no, dude, like don't get me wrong. Gilbert Arenas was a really good shooter. It's not like he wasn't, but he's not Steph Curry.
On and off the
You know what I mean? Don't say.
So what you got?
Nothing. I ain't giving this no air.
I already knew.
I love it.
It's foolishness. That's Gillen. You know how Gil does, man.
Yep.
Yeah, they need numbers over there. I get it. I get it.
All right, and the only other thing that I got here is also a photo thing I picked off the source. Is the report about Donovan Mitchell. And this has implications for a lot of teams, especially the Knicks and the Lakers, because those are the two teams that have been brought up the most when this has come up here recently. Even before, even a couple of rounds, I was hearing this maybe before the last round of playoffs, and now it's even more evident. But it's saying that the Cavs will trade Donovan Mitchell if he doesn't accept the extension offer this summer to avoid losing him in free agency. So I'm going to ask you first, because your Lakers have been talked about a lot in reference to this young man. What do you feel about them possibly looking to move him if this comes true? And what do you feel about the possibility of him playing with the Lakers?
I don't know, man. I can't see it. I can't see him coming to LA. I'm trying to picture this. I'm just trying to picture it, and I just don't see. I mean, I love Donovan Mitchell as a player. Don't get me wrong. The combination of LeBron, I guess, AD and Mitchell is just a weird combination. It's just a weird combination.
Bronny.
Ain't nobody and Bronny. Not a soul is standing at the 3-point line, knocking down shots off the pass, and that is a problem. That's a problem. So I'm good. I'm good on that. I know the Knicks don't want him. The Knicks don't want him for real because they're like, we got DiVincenzo. Why would we want Donovan Mitchell? They the same thing. So
it's not even that. It's not even that. I don't think we need Donovan Mitchell to play next to his dad. His dad's Jalen Brunson. Did we miss the playoffs last year? Did we not see him get sunned by Jalen Brunson? We don't need that. We got your dad, and he's better. So we're gonna just we're good with that.
Just a dad. Yeah, Rick, Jalen, and Donovan together.
Right. No, but I mean, I will say this: as far as the Lakers, there was a report. I don't know if he actually said this or not, but there was a report that Dan Gilbert refuses to send Donovan Mitchell to the Lakers, mainly because he just won't let the LeBron hate go. I guess I don't know. But as far as the Knicks, I'm going to be honest with you. Last year, I wanted Donovan badly because I did not know what Jalen Brunson we were going to get, right? Like I knew him from his playoff run. with the Mavericks. I didn't know if he could be this good, right? So I'm like, yeah, just go get Donovan Mitchell. Who cares what you got to give up to get him? Give up everything, right? We didn't do it. Brunson showcases, okay, he has star power, right? Then this year, he showcases he has superstar power. So I'm like, at this point, it's like you have your superstar. Now we need to start being smart about what pieces can we surround your already superstar with. You have a potential star in Julius, right? So I'm like, I don't see the drastic difference between what Julius brings offensively and what Donovan brings offensively. So for me, it's kind of like you're just exchanging. You're not necessarily getting better. You're just exchanging. So that's why I'm like, the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes, it sounds cool. He's a Met fan. He's always in New York. He's really good friends with Josh Hart. They're always posting about each other on Instagram. It sounds cool, right?
He wants to be there, but that's
right. He wants to be in New York. No, here's the thing. He wants to be in New York, right? So for me, it's like Brooklyn. Why not Brooklyn? Brooklyn has all the assets in the world to go get him. And
I think he'll take Brooklyn. I think he would. Well, he might have a lot of say in the matter.
No, he didn't. We won't have a say.
I think he would prefer to be a Knick. And if I can't get the Knicks, okay, you know, what's up with Brooklyn?
Yeah, I'd much rather see him in Brooklyn. You know, you're still in New York. You have a chance to turn that organization around. You know, you'll be our permanent little brother forever, you know. But the Knicks, I don't see it making any sense. It just doesn't make you better is my bigger issue. It just doesn't make you better.
My thing with it is I have a thing about having stars that play similar positions. You know, like I don't want like two all-stars in the same spot that kind of overlap. And like right now in Cleveland, Garland's not an all-star, but he's one of their better players, and he overlaps with Donovan Mitchell, and they're both small. Like obviously, it still works. That like the height obviously wasn't a big issue, but it's still a short backcourt, and at the end of the day, that can hurt you in the end if you don't have enough size, especially in the backcourt. And as much as I love the idea of Jalen Brunson, and I think it could work, I'm not saying it can't work. I just don't see. I just kind of see it as almost kind of redundant having your two best players be a backcourt. I like spreading it out. Like I want a guard, and I want a forward or another big. That's a star. That's more complementary to your team. Not putting it all in one spot. So like when you see two wings, they're an all-star backcourt. To me, it's almost redundant. And it's funny because we have right now in the finals of two teams that are dealing with redundancy. Two all-star forwards, two all-star guards. Luckily, they play well off another for it to work. But that's just me normally. But yeah, we're at a point now where like it's not a big deal. Like Donovan Mitchell he's available, and it's funny. Like that's how well the New York has done to the point where we're like, I'm not desperate enough to go like, let's go get Mitchell. Let's just trade whoever. And I don't want to.
I can't wait till y'all speak next year.
It's true though. Like it's not as like we're desperate to get Donovan Mitchell because like I think we have a good team already. I think to me you just got to tinker with the bench. I think you got to get better on the bench is where I think we have a bigger issue going forward because of like obviously injuries caught up to us and like we need another ball handler, and obviously I don't want having a guy like Donovan Mitchell would help. Don't get me wrong. I just don't. I'm not as desperate. Like would I be upset if they did it? No, but at the same time, I'm not. It's not like we were last year where we're like, oh my god, we were so depressed when they sent him to Cleveland, bro. You don't understand how sad that was. It was so bad. We're not that team anymore. So it's different.
Right. I mean, let's be real. If the Cavaliers enter in trade talks with the Nets, we need to pick up the phone and go, hey, you're about to get Donovan. You don't need Mikal Bridges. We need the Nova Core. Yeah. We need the Nova Core. We need it, right? To become a full superhero team. We need Brooklyn's all the Infinity Stones.
Trade for Donovan Mitchell and trade away Mikal Bridges.
That's why, and you know what, Prime, can I apologize to Source real quick? Because Source at the top of the show did say, how do you guys not want to get better? We need Ryan, what's his name, Joel? Ryan Arcanito? Arcanito? We need him, and we need Mikal Bridges to complete the Nova Core, and that's the help you were talking about, Source. That's the help we need. Those are our reinforcements. There you go. Well, so I apologize. You're right.
A source. And what's funny is when we talked about this, and you weren't on, when we talked about this, might have been on their show actually, but and I said that I'm fine with where we are, right? But Mikal Bridges is interesting because Joel just brought up the point, was talking about how small our backcourt would be. If you go back to the last few seasons when we've gotten knocked out of the playoffs, remember when we lost to the Hawks, right? Mm-hmm. They were just gunning from the outside. You know, there's not the link wasn't there. We didn't have OG and all these guys. Right. You know, when we lost, when we came back and we lost to the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Miami Heat was gunning from the outside. Yeah. We didn't have long arms out there to defend them. You know, this year we go out and we lose. Of course, it was injuries, but we go out and lose to Indiana.
Yep. Small.
Gunning from the outside, no length.
Mm-hmm.
The Mikal Bridges thing would be interesting to me if they could work the 3-team, because it's going to take a 3-team deal. I mean, just basically wait, everything is set up. Because now if you're talking about defending that 3-point shot or those long jumpers, I've got OG and I got Mikal Bridges, right? Mm-hmm. I would not be mad with that whatsoever, right? Like Joel said, I wouldn't lose my mind if something were to happen and we were to get Donovan Mitchell. I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it. I'm not pushing for it. But to me, Mikal Bridges in this situation, if it takes a Donovan Mitchell to go to Brooklyn, whatever it is, Mikal Bridges makes much more sense to me for the New York Knicks. If you look at the way we've fallen each of the last 3 seasons in the playoffs. Length.
Let's go. Let's do it. Novacore, baby. Let's do it.
Hey, Didge. You got any thoughts on because we know he's obviously not coming to he's not coming to the Bucks, right?
Yeah, no, he's not coming to
no, Giannis for Donovan is very fair.
Hey, keep your one out. Just go ahead, just drop him from the whole show. We don't need his statements. But no, honestly, the only thing I got from this is I don't understand what Cleveland is doing in general, because I saw this report and then I want to say it was probably 15 minutes later, I saw a report that the Cavs are not going to trade their core 4. And I don't know which one came first. So I'm like, did this report drop? And then they are kind of like, well, no, we need to temper that. Like, hey, we're not doing this. Or did the core 4 one drop? And then this came afterwards. Well, maybe if we can't get his extension, we might trade him. Either way, it just sounds like the whole Cavs team is in disarray.
To me,
remember, this isn't the first time this happened, right? Remember, Jazz did this with Donovan. Jazz said, "We're not trading Donovan Mitchell. What are you, crazy?" And then a subpar offer came across their lap with Cleveland. They were like, "Yup, bye." Right? So it's like that's all Cleveland is doing.
That is very
that's
true.
all they're doing. They just don't want to seem desperate, because if you're desperate, you're gonna get the same kind of deal you gave to Donovan, right? So it's like, we're not desperate. We'll keep them, right? So they're just playing hardball. But I saw both of those reports, and I think it's them kind of just going, the first one shouldn't have maybe gotten out. So the second one is, we'll keep them. We'll keep them.
It's the same thing, though. There's something going on there, because depending on who you talk to or which publication you read or which channel you watch and which NBA insider, the whole Bickerstaff thing. Because it was first being said that Mitchell was one of the reasons that Bickerstaff is gone, because they weren't seeing eye to eye. But you go see another NBA outsider and you go read something, somewhere else, that he and Bickerstaff were actually great. And he was disappointed that Bickerstaff is gone. You know what I'm saying? What's funny to me is to have the success that they had this year, and for him to be out of a job, what is it? You know what I'm saying? Does Donovan have anything to, do with him or not? It's just a funny thing.
Yeah, the Cavs.
I will say this: keep an eye out on Cleveland trying to pull a Denver Broncos thing. Remember when the Denver Broncos hired that quarterbacks coach, thinking they were going to get Aaron Rodgers? Right now, Cleveland is interviewing Johnny Bryant. Johnny Bryant and Donovan Mitchell have history together. They might try to get Johnny Bryant from the Knicks in hopes that Donovan likes that enough to stay. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Cleveland, you're not slick. You're not slick, okay? We see what you're trying to do. You're trying to get some of this recipe we got going on in New York. It's not going to work, dog. It's not going to work. Okay, it's just not. You don't have the chefs. Sorry.
Recipe to get to
what?
Round? Crazy.
That's so crazy. How far did the Bucks and the Lakers get?
I'm just asking a question.
So am I.
I was
just returning the serve, Source. I was just returning the serve. I thought we were just playing a friendly serve game. You know what I'm saying? That was it.
Hey,
just returning it back.
I don't think anybody's following the Lakers pattern. So you are a Knicks fan. Don't try to play it off. You are a typical Knicks fan. It's okay. It's all right. You have a little bit of you keep some logic stored away, but generally you just. Prime is too.
I've seen the likes and retweets.
Hold on.
I've been seeing the likes. It'd be some wild statements.
Hold on. Because here's what be making me laugh. Here's what be making me laugh. A Laker fan saying that a Knick fan only sometimes has some logic. We weren't blessed with being gifted Kobe, Magic, Kareem, Shaq, LeBron, or AD.
Championship in a long time.
Because we got to keep getting it out the mud. We don't have superstars that just drop in our laps. Okay? We got to get it out the mud.
Y'all get it from the mud and be like, this is our year. See, this is why it's easy for Prime, because you got the Dallas thing and the Knicks thing working at the same time. So,
we never say it's our year. I don't know how long you've been doing.
No. Man. Hey, this series is wrapped up. I don't know what 2-0. It's over.
That's
so. But Source, you watching?
He didn't answer.
You watching the people on TV and across your social media say that. But with y'all, the thing that people get mixed up in when it comes to,
what is the people on our social media saying?
The Knicks fans is they put everybody in that group, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody in that group. So they mess around and seeing the people hollering F. Trey Young, right? Well, I might say that too, but anyway.
They ain't wrong.
I was in that video, by the way, y'all.
This idea. But the problem with folks that are not Knick fans, right? They incorporate every Knick fan into that. Everyone, right? So this is what y'all were doing. This is what y'all were doing. But they also don't incorporate the fact or acknowledge the fact that most of their fan bases do the same stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So they have to formulate a reason on why the New York Knicks doing it or certain fans doing it is worse than their fans do.
First of all, hold on, Prime.
No.
Do you know how crazy? Of a fan?
I'm going to Wawa. Wawa is crazy because I bump into everybody in Wawa. I was telling the story earlier about the lanyard and all. It's always Wawa. So the whole 9 yards, right? Knicks. You know, listen that. Lakers, baby. Listen, you ought to be there. I'm saying to myself, first of all, I was just trying to make my coffee. Don't worry about Second of all, when the last time y'all done something? I ain't bothered you. What you bothered me for? Worry about what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know. Or the dude, I told you the dude's like, yeah, what happened to y'all? Yo, son, take some of that bass out your voice. Worry about what I'm doing. Non-Knick fans will find everything in the book to equate what we're doing is much worse than what their fan base is doing. That's the truest statement ever.
Absolutely.
I just also think it's overblown because I kind of feel like at the start of each season, every fan base should feel comfortable that their team made the proper moves to compete, right? I mean, unless your team is just god awful. So I'm like, yeah, you can say this is the year. I give it to you, Source. If the Knicks are horrible and people are still like, but I'm telling you, they might turn it. That's different.
Let me tell you.
But I'm saying on legit winning years like this year, come on.
Since I've been a fan that I thought we have a chance at possibly winning a title. This is the first year in my whole life I've ever said that.
As someone who comes from a humble fan base, our fan base is full of nothing but humble people.
That's a lie. The person saying it isn't even humble. The person saying it isn't even a humble fan.
As Bucks fans, all we do, even when we won the championship, our thing was, well, the shoe gonna drop somehow. And that but we have been conditioned as fans of Wisconsin sports to know, look, even in the highs, the lows gonna come somehow. And so, as someone who comes from a humble fan base, I will tell you, nothing is more interesting than seeing Laker fans and Knicks fans every year is their year. I wish I had that option.
Lakers fans, I mean, honest with you, Lakers fans are just so crazy. See, you know what I'm saying? So, and all it takes, this is the difference. Knicks fans realize that all fan bases got the same people that do the same. It's the same people do say crazy stuff, right? The problem is being a Knicks fan, they see one or two people say something, and that means that was everybody.
Hold on, Prime. Can I say this?
Y'all did it. Y'all was gonna win it.
You want to know how we could tell that Source and Didge are lying about Knicks fans feeling that way? We had stretches where we had Trey Burke as our starting point guard, Langston Galloway as our starting point guard.
Langston Galloway.
If you think we went into a Lou Munson, Langston Galloway season thinking we about to take it all the way, y'all are crazy. Yeah. Okay? We as Knicks fans are not insane. When we get a little bit of like momentum, yes. Do we sometimes take it the nth degree? Sure.
That's it.
But we do not. But Source, I mean like going up 2-0 against the Pacers, thinking that okay, we could sweep them possibly or win the series. Yeah, sure, you can go crazy for that.
1 second, going up 2-0 after 2 home games. Okay, go on.
Okay. But let's not act like timeout. Let's not act like the Knicks did not seem like the way better team in those 2 wins. Yes, we had to see what the Pacers looked like going home. But I was watching OG Anunoby put Pascal Siakam in Guantanamo Bay for 2 games. That's when the Pacers turned around when OG went out after the second game. And Pascal Siakam was eating on Josh Hart. Come on, let's be honest.
The Knicks, I'm gonna generalize it. The Knicks fans are the ones that was at Becky Hammond's neck.
We still are.
After
That's
2
not over yet.
100% we still are.
They want to
hold on. No, so it's not just her. It's not just her. Candace, she getting it too. Gilbert Arenas, he getting it too.
We're not sexist. We come for everyone.
We come for everybody. We got a long list.
The bad part is, okay, the fans are acting like a point was proven. They're acting like I told you.
Was it not?
I told you what? I told you that a small guard could lead us to the Eastern Conference semifinals. Was that the argument?
No. She said a small guard could not be the best player on a 1A. If Jalen Brunson did not prove that he's a 1A,
but wait, can you finish
on a championship
team?
Yes, but timeout, Didge. Injuries started to hit us left and right. Timeout. Hold on. No. Source. Hold on. Timeout. I would give it to you. Timeout. Hold on. No, timeout. Hold on. Because outside of Game 7, Jalen Brunson had the Knicks in every single game against the Pacers. No, I'm sorry. I think they blew us out twice. I think that one home game they had. Yeah, and then the So in 5 out of the 7 games.
That's a wild thing to throw it in the middle of you trying to prove your position.
Hey, look.
Hold on.
The game that
what I'm trying to say is her point was he could not be the best player on a championship team. If you believe after seeing Brunson these last 2 seasons in the postseason that on a healthy team he couldn't lead them to the championship, I'd have to ask you, what are you watching? That's my only question.
Yeah, what
are you watching?
It all gotta understand though. Wait, is what he just said. You guys, so you non-Knicks fans are taking it as if we're just talking about in general. He's talking about on a healthy team. I don't know who you would expect anybody in the league to be able to do any more than what we did with any player, bro. You gotta understand, we went through these playoffs with one freaking person that was starting at the beginning of the season. I mean, I know OG wasn't there, but of course we didn't have him in the playoff season, right? You can't tell me, nobody can tell me that legitimately that we were very great chance that we are playing in at least the conference finals. I'm not talking about losing a player. You can tell me all the time about losing a player. I'm not even talking about Julius Randle. You find me a team that lost everything we lost in that short period of time. The players that we lost, you can't equate that just to talk about what you guys didn't win a championship. Think about when he lost in that short period of time. Mitchell Robinson was a key contributor, especially against Philly. He goes down.
100%.
You traded for Bogdanovich for help off the bench. You lose Bogdanovich, doesn't even get to play. You OG Anunoby, who you ended up the season 26-6 with him as a starter, right? He can't play. Josh Hart, the heart and soul, was the heart and soul of this team. He gets hurt. Wouldn't even been out there, just like OG wouldn't have been. You know what I'm saying? In the last game, nobody, and I mean nobody, can overlook the amount of play. Not that they lost players. The amount of
problem, Brian.
If they want to say it's Brunson's fault that all that happened and that doesn't factor into it, it's Brunson because Brunson sucks and it's not good enough to be the best.
Here's the problem, though,
because he's 6'2".
Did you good?
That's fine. You can think that way.
Good.
But wait, hold on, Didge, hold on. Time out. Hold on, real quick. If we take the injuries out of it, right? Let's take the injuries out of it. It happens to every team. We take the injuries out of it. Let's do this. If I took Kyrie off the Dallas Mavericks and put Jalen Brunson in, are the Mavericks still not in the NBA Finals?
What's your point?
My point is, she said that he can be a 1A on a championship team. I'm saying we watch Brunson not even play on this level, do crazy things with the Dallas Mavericks with Luka out and playing alongside Luka. You take this Jalen Brunson and put him in Dallas? What are we saying? What are we saying? So to me, I'm like, a championship. You don't think that Jalen Brunson, the way he played this postseason next to Luka, could win a championship?
Is not leading the team to a championship. That's what I'm saying.
He said 1A.
Okay. You know what, Source? You know what? No problem. I just want you to know, I will make sure that the world flips if the Knicks ever win a championship with Jalen Brunson in the driver's seat. I am flying you out to New York to be part of the parade, and I want you to go to, as the bus is going by, Jalen Brunson, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I need that from you. I need a Knicks jersey on. Don't worry, Didge is going to be right next to you because he's quietly agreeing with you. So Didge is going to be right next to you. We got Peter, Candace Parker, Charles Barkley.
Before I give my statement, I'm not going to quietly agree or disagree. I'll come in with my statement. Let me finish reading the quote. I'm not. Again, this is Knicks fans. Here's Knicks fans. I want to read the quote.
Read the quote.
Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, MVPs. They didn't win a championship. Yes, Brunson is your 1A. And what she said is, all I was saying is, I don't think you win a championship. It's not that he's not amazing. He's amazing. So again, she's not, you guys say, oh, they're shitting on Brunson. They're doing all this about Brunson.
Wait, is that her first comment or is that when she came back?
This is the comments I could find. I don't know what the first comment.
Okay, because that was definitely her second comment when she came back after the Knicks fans were shitting on her. She came back and said that.
Here are the reasons. The Knicks are well coached. They're going to be on their defensive game, but at the end of the day, they don't have a dude. You got to have a dude. You got to have a 1A dude, and they're missing that at the end of the day if you're just getting down to brass tacks.
And we took that personally.
Of course you guys did. But again,
not your dude. So yeah, you don't take it personally. So we get it.
No, but it sounds like you guys took it to heart because you guys went out and got OG Anunoby. You guys made sure to get players to put around him.
It wasn't because of that comment. You know, they were after OG last year.
But I'm saying, my point is, if you're thinking that he's just the dude that'll get you, you wouldn't have went out and said, okay, we needed to get all these other pieces.
Why the fuck did you What's the point?
That's wrong.
No. Her point is that he's not the one singular person that can take.
No. He could still be 1A and have OG. Are you serious?
What 1A?
He is 1A.
1A, but 1A isn't what you need. What she's saying is, if you're a dude, you're a 1. You don't have a 1A. Giannis is a 1.
She means 1. She means 1. He's the number 1 guy.
If he's not the dude, how did he finish top 5 in MVP voting?
I didn't say her statements were correct. I'm saying
no. I'm not putting this on you. I'm only arguing her comments. I'm arguing her comment.
These comments
top 5 in MVP, but he's not the dude.
These comments are also in December. he wasn't top 5 in MVP in December.
But did.
No, but he was winning player of the month in December. He was winning player of the month.
Yeah, he did. Let me ask you this,
wait,
though.
hey, look. Even Juwan started his argument about MVP with January.
He did. That's what I'm saying. It got okay. Knicks fans.
No. I only said that because from October to January, Julius Randle was picking up his game, and it was very much a 1-2 between Julius and Jalen Brunson. Nice. It was when Randle went down that it was glaring that our best player was Jalen Brunson, and it wasn't even to have a conversation about. So that's when I said he ensinged himself as an MVP caliber player.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
OG as a defensive player.
I don't disagree with it.
Why are we so mad about a comment that was made in December then?
Because in December, I think in either November or December, he was getting mad player of the weeks. I think he got a player of the month, I think. So I'm like, to me, it was kind of just like,
dude.
But they ain't last year he was our team.
He's been our dude since he got us past the first round last year. That's what you have to
right.
I get that.
He just made it. He solidified it this year. That's all he did.
He solidified.
He solidified
that he
don't go nowhere. We
to the Eastern Conference semifinals. What do you mean?
Yes. He can only get to the semifinals, whatever, with the rest of his team hurt. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but hold on. Time out. No. Again, time out. Hold on.
I want to hear what Prime had to say. He definitely had something.
No, I just had a question because you had made the comment about us going out and get all these guys. Who did we really go get? See, we brought in before, so they've been after OG actually for 2 years. The conversation started about OG for 2 years. It wasn't about we going to get OG because Brunson need help. Okay, they know what type of player OG was. You know what I'm saying? He can get 20 a game, one of the best, corner 3-point shooters in the game, and a defensive guy. It had nothing to do with having to go get him. They went and got these other guys. These key pieces were really supposed to be bench players. DiVincenzo wasn't brought in to start. You see what I'm
saying? Right.
You guys are acting like they went and got all these pieces because they felt like he couldn't do it.
Right. And the funnier part was they went out and got him. Hold on. They went out and got OG Anunoby. They went out and got OG Anunoby. He then gets injured in the month they get him, and then is out for a large period of time. And Brunson elevated his game.
Got the second seed.
So I'm like, what are we saying? He lost his running mate. And then OG Anunoby was out for mad games, and he elevated his game.
That's the narrative, right? Everybody else can talk about this. Was talking about earlier about the injuries they had. Of course, we know the magnitude of losing. You know what I'm saying? And we had to hear that this is the thing. It's not fair. We got to listen to everybody else talk about, if Embiid wouldn't have got hurt, all this would have happened. We wouldn't have got the second seed, right? But we can't talk about being hurt though. It's different when it's the Knicks, right? It's different. We only got this because it is. And then when we get put out the playoffs, we can't talk about nobody on our team, the amount of injuries. Because none of those teams you can name had the amount in that short period of time. And that's not even
we're not about to play the game of, the media's out to get us. Because if anybody, I am coming from a small market. No, I'm coming from a small market. Yeah. Let me tell you how much the media's out to get a small market. We won the championship. And the next day, they talk about, the Bucks better win another one because Giannis might be out of there. We were fresh off a championship. The media doesn't like small market teams. So I understand when the media is out to get a team. But my point is, the Knicks fans take the slightest slight, the smallest slight, and it's the end of the world. That's what I mean about Knicks fans.
Didge, I've told you this since we've known each other. We do it because we're used to being bad, right? We're always, but hold on. I know, but hear me out. Hold on. We're always bad, right? Time out. We're always bad. Picture being bad, and then every time you're televised, you're reminded about how bad you are. Then you start to turn it around, and they want to remind you of how bad you used to be and why they can't take you seriously. It's like, well, what do you want us to do?
At least you're talking about from 20 people with
so negative, Didge.
The funniest thing to me is watching
don't talk about me, man.
People start talking about the Knicks just like the Knicks ain't made the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years. So you talk to somebody this year, you guys are finally good. Okay, that's because you don't like the Knicks, and we know we've been bad for a long period of time. But it shows me how much you really pay attention to the game, right? No, we haven't been great, but you acting like we've been we've sucked the past 3-4 years. You see what I'm saying? It's just.
And I do have to ask Source this, Prime. Source, is Anthony Edwards a dude?
Is he yeah.
He is a dude, right? So then my question to you is, when did Anthony Edwards go home? Did he go home the same round we did?
No.
What does that have to do with winning?
Because if Anthony Edwards is a dude and he didn't deliver a championship, what are we talking?
He didn't go home. He didn't go home the same round you guys did, by the way.
No, sorry, not the same round. I'm sorry. My point was he didn't win a championship. Did he win a championship?
Are we sliding the scale of the argument? I thought the conversation was small guard championship. I don't know how we got here.
No. Didge read and she corrected herself and said he can't be the dude. He can't be the dude. He can't be the 1A, the guy that wins a championship.
I was talking about the championship part. And I stand on that statement. Small guard.
So if Anthony Edwards is the 1A and he's the dude, he doesn't have a championship.
Here's my argument. Who?
Anthony Edwards doesn't have a championship. You just said he's a dude. He's a 1A.
The point wasn't.
Are you arguing a 22-year-old? Are you arguing a 22-year-old? That's your argument.
I also think you're missing the point.
We're gonna talk age. What is Brunson 35? Like what?
I think you're also missing the part of the statement. She's not saying that Brunson can't be the dude. So she's saying that No, she's not. She said that person can't win you the championship. It wasn't that they can't be the dude of your team. It's that person has to do.
He is not.
I felt like you read two reports that said both of those things.
No, she's saying yes. Brunson is your 1A because that's at least in her second. When her first,
that's after she thought about it. But what
after she thought about it, the same thing that multiple people said.
Yeah. So my problem with your argument right now is that you're saying he didn't win. He got us to the second round again. Same look. If you look at it on paper, we lost the second round again. But you're not counting all the factors that led up to it because it's just his talent alone, as you're saying, is the reason we lost.
I'm trying
to.
Am I wrong?
Clarify what she's saying, and I'm not
talking about her anymore. I'm talking about Source.
You're focused on the fact that it's a Knicks player. Jalen Brunson could play for the Toronto Argonauts. It don't matter who he played for. It's talking about a small guard.
Okay,
a team
that's not
to
my
a championship.
Point. But
Curry did it.
Curry isn't.
He did. He's different, though. And that's what she said. She also said that. She said he was different.
Like, what are you doing?
But again, think about what worked in Curry's favor. Your first championship came to a Western Conference riddled with injuries. Then you played the Cavaliers riddled with injuries.
They got 4 of them. What are you even talking about? What are you even talking about?
It was with Kevin Durant.
You know why? Because Steph said, you know what?
Because he couldn't be that dude. That's why. He knew he couldn't be big bad LeBron, so he needed to go get some help.
Joel,
didn't they what? Didn't they beat what?
He knew that year where Draymond got suspended, he could not continue to beat LeBron. So he went and got KD.
2-1, 3 straight.
Joel, I will answer your question.
What?
Purely healthy.
You're arguing something that had already happened.
No,
I don't care. I don't care if that's what you believe. I'm just saying. My point is just this passage. Let's just focus on the last round, right?
Yeah.
You said a championship, regardless. Like I think healthy, they could have had a chance at the championship. I'm not saying they would have. Sure, I think they had a chance at least to get to the finals, at the very least, in my opinion. But you're basically saying that the injuries had no factor in.
I didn't say that.
No, but that's how Source made it seem to me.
I didn't say one word about injuries with the Knicks. Period. I haven't said one word about injuries.
Because what you're saying is,
but you're not factoring it in though.
But that's what I mean. Like you're saying, we got to the second round. That's it.
It doesn't matter, dog. Small guard leading a team to a championship.
The championship this
year.
Well,
this is never.
If you want to point out an argument to back up your statement, if you want to point out a specific argument, you want to go back to Isaiah Thomas. Where are we going? Where are we going with the argument? We're not going anywhere because it doesn't happen. That's the point. It doesn't happen.
But that's not. This argument will never be over because it's constantly evolving.
It's smaller. You know what?
It's constantly evolving, yet it hasn't evolved in the last 30 years.
It's not.
So if your point is it has not happened yet, of course, from a historian standpoint, you're absolutely correct. Yeah. All we're saying is that we were robbed of proving it because of injuries. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying.
Of course, that's all we're saying. As of right, in the future, yes, jury is to be out. We'll see if it happens. We'll see if it doesn't.
Yes, I could hit the lotto. I could. It's possible in the future. I haven't done it yet, though.
I do think honestly, I think the Boston, we weren't going to make the finals. I think Boston was coming out of the East regardless.
I respect you saying that. I'm just saying the way that we played Boston this year, in the way, first of all, the way that the Pacers could have easily turned that entire series around, losing those very close games that they did. Close games like that are usually close games we tend to pull out. I think we had a chance to beat the Celtics. Now, if you're talking about winning the championship, like I said, I'm not here to play what if. I'm just saying that injuries is why we could not prove that theory wrong, that a small guard can win a championship.
Exactly. All I'm going to say to anybody is, as far as that, anybody who thinks, because everybody just said, no matter who gets you to play, Boston going to beat them anyway. The same people that had Boston beating the brakes off of Indiana when it happened, and that wasn't the case. They swept them, right? But they swept them. They swept them. But
that was definitely a hard fought series. That was a hard.
It was close, and then they lost Halliburton.
It was a
hard sweep. Yeah, but we wouldn't get that because people would tell you that we would get in that series, and 100% without a doubt, if we were healthy in that series, that we were still definitely getting swept.
I think it would go the same way the regular season series.
Listen, it's different when it's New York, regardless. We can talk about all the conversations we had about the spot. It's different. Let me tell you something. Anybody who does not believe that we would have a chance to at least win a game or two in that series if we didn't win it, they foolish. And they tell you that's because it's the Knicks, right?
That series is going 7 games. You want to pick Celtics? Celtics. I don't care, but it's going 7 games. That's crazy. It's going 7 games. Yeah. It's going 7 games.
I mean, it went 7 games with Indiana.
Sit here and tell me what they've seen from Boston. If you've really been paying attention to Boston, granted they won 64 games, right? But in a lot of these games, the games that they lost and in these playoffs, and you 100% without a doubt positive that would have happened, then you really ain't been watching the game. Boston is a 64-win team and still not the team that people who don't watch basketball think they are.
I mean, we just sat here for over an hour talking about how we believe Jason Tatum is very much flukish. So now all of a sudden, because he plays the Knicks, he turns into prime Bron. Like, no, it's still the same Jason Tatum. That's liable to have horrible games, like he's liable to have phenomenal games. The man is very, very wishy-washy. Like I said, my only point was, yes, has a small guard led a team to a championship? No, it's very seldomly done. Right. I'm just saying we were robbed of a chance to possibly prove it because of injuries. That was the only thing I was saying. That was the only thing. Like I said, we're not Knicks fans that are going to sit here and tell you that we're like the 96 Bulls. Like, no, we're just saying that we didn't get a chance to try to prove it because we had insurmountable injuries. That's all. And I think that's very logical to say.
I'm sorry.
You should blame Tibbs.
I was going to say that, but
hold on. How much are you going to blame Tibbs?
No. Because Tibbs rubs his teams. Because Tim rubs his teams into the ground.
So
Julius Randle landed on his shoulder. Bogdanovich got his ankle rolled. Mitchell Robinson got his ankle yanked from the air from Joel Embiid.
There's still so much regular wear and tear.
The only thing you could possibly argue, the only injury out of that you could possibly argue.
Tibbs runs his teams into the ground.
Julius landed on his shoulder. What does that have to do with being run into?
Sorry, Prime. Finish your sentence. Hold on.
They did. They trying to defend Tibbs run his team into the ground now. That's crazy.
No, it ain't about defending. It's about logic, though, bro. Think about it. It's maybe two of those
injuries. That ain't nothing new. That is in New York.
So out of those injuries, there may be 2 that you can question. If you want to question, I can question. But there's 4 I can give you that have next to nothing to do with him running them into the ground.
No, the more you're on the court, the more you're running to the ground. Period.
I was going to say,
period.
The D Rose.
Period.
The
more you're on the court, the more you're running the ground.
Everybody blames him for all.
Okay, hold on, Prime. Can I say this real quick? Can I say this to Source and Didge real quick? Because I just had to explain this the other day. Julius, freak injury, landed on his shoulder. That's why that man didn't play another game. OG Anunoby came to the Knicks with a long-standing history of not being healthy. That was a Toronto problem. It's why they were okay letting him go. That's two. Bojan got his ankle rolled because Nicholas Batum landed on his ankle diving for a loose ball. That's three. Mitchell Robinson's injury got re-aggravated because Joel Embiid yanked his leg in the air and then landed on his leg. That's four. Then the fifth, Josh Hart said he felt like he pulled something when, was it Nimrod? Nimrod, I think he said. Nimrod, sorry. He's a Nimrod. He elbowed him and he felt like something pulled. And then Jalen Brunson trying to swipe the ball on Halliburton going up, hit his hand. That is 6 injuries, and none of them had to do anything with fatigue.
Fine, whatever. Tim's on his team to the ground, sure.
Apparently,
Tim's.
I don't ever want to hear about
No.
I don't ever want to hear about
No. All I'm saying is we literally just had Josh Hart come out and say, Josh Hart literally just came on this podcast and said, bro, we don't even practice like you guys think. Tibbs used to do that. Tibbs changed since he came here. He does not do that. He said all we do is watch tape during practice. I get what you guys are saying is that Tibbs plays them an absorbent amount of minutes. But what I'm saying is you cannot point out one injury the Knicks faced this year that was not a freak accident. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you're saying maybe Julius shouldn't have still been on the court, I won't argue with you on that.
Less freak accidents happen if you're on the court less. That's it.
Yeah, but when you're trying to win the game in the fourth quarter, because that's when Julius got injured.
I mean, if that's the case, every team should just play their best players 48 minutes.
Yeah, also, wait, Prime and Joel, time out. Prime and Joel, I also want to throw out there that I think I saw this Didge. Of course, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Shea put up almost the same amount of minutes as Jalen Brunson.
It's a couple of players.
The same amount of minutes.
But what I'm saying is, the more that your body is wear and tear, the more you're liable to those freak accidents.
Understand something. He just said about being on the court in the fourth. I'm not going to defend Tibbs. You got to hear a lot more about him, because the man about to sign a tech contract, right? So he's going to be around. But my thing is this. What you have to understand, the identity of the Knicks, especially this year, these guys will tell you, because they didn't watch as many games as I have. Our identity, to be honest with you, we had to do to win games. We were a team. We were probably that one team that was never out of a game. You go to halftime, we down by 16 points. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Three of the best teams in the league that we beat the brakes off of this year, we were down by double digits, big double digits in a lot of those games. We beat the brakes off of Denver. We beat Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? You know, those teams, we had to come back. So the way he played, I'm not defending saying the man don't play the people a whole bunch of minutes. I'm not saying that. But
I think he plays them too many minutes for sure. 100%. I'm just saying it had nothing to do with the injuries that we had. That's all I'm saying.
Be in the game, make the comeback, and then beat some of the very best teams sizably. It had to happen, and it just wasn't. One of the dudes
landed on the shoulder because someone took a charge in midair. Like, y'all telling me that's because he played too many minutes? Like, what do we say? Homeboy took a charge midair and he landed on his shoulder. And y'all like, playing them long minutes, man.
Yeah, you know how it is.
That's crazy.
The funniest thing in the world.
That's not crazy. Crazy is you don't see what you're saying.
What am I saying?
They overplayed. Yes, they played a lot, but he got injured while he was on the court. But it's not because he was on the court. It's because of what happened when he was on the court.
On the body,
All right, so Jalen Brunson.
So you're telling me that if Julius Randle played 25 minutes in that game and still landed on his shoulder, you would say the same thing?
Yeah.
It's funny that it happens to Tibbs teams. You act like we just made this up today, and this is not a thing. But now
no one's arguing that, though, Source. We agreed with that. We're just saying it's not the problem we had. It's not the reason why we had injury problems.
No, you think the thing is, dog, you think that we don't understand what you're saying. Well, which we do. We do understand. Nobody here is arguing the fact that the man don't play a lot of minutes, and nobody's arguing the fact that we understand if you're on the court more, that it has to happen.
Jawad just said the man didn't get hurt from playing a lot of minutes.
When the majority of these injuries happen, just like the biggest thing was when we got eliminated, right? It was necessary for Jalen Brunson to be on the court for us to attempt a comeback, right? You know, we made a couple of small runs when he was out for good. Maybe he could have helped gotten us back in the game, right? But he had to be on the court. What other choice did we have? The man makes a swipe of the ball and fractures his hand. I'm just saying. But
I just believe I believe that Tibbs' coaching style.
Tibbs playing him too many minutes. Yeah. What y'all would have
said? I believe Tibbs' coaching style ruined Derrick Rose, and I think people take that and they amplify it over his entire coaching career. Jimmy Butler looks fine to me. Jimmy Butler looks fine to me. Taj Gibson looks fine to me. Kurt Heinrich had a fine career. Luol Deng had a fine career. All these players, Karl Anthony Towns that played for Tibbs that is having a fine career. Zach LaVine that played for Tibbs is having a fine career. I'm just saying, you guys are saying it like Tibbs is the Grim Reaper of players. Like, who are we talking about?
So you don't think it's a thing? So you don't think it's a thing?
No, I think you are exaggerating it. It's very much a thing that we play too many minutes. 100%. 100%. It's why we told you our biggest issue is finding a better bench this offseason. So you don't have to play these players as many minutes. All my argument was to you, Source, was the reason those guys were out is not because they were old. We barely played Bojan. Bojan barely played and got injured because someone landed on his ankle. That's all I'm saying. But if we're going to sit here and go, man, devastating NFL injuries can happen if NFL players on the field. Yeah, of course. Sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sure. But did we need Jalen Brunson to play 48 minutes a game? Yes. What else did we have? Nothing else.
He had 39 in the playoffs is what he averaged. So the only one that averaged over 40. 40 was Josh Hart was the only one that averaged over 40 in the playoffs.
What was Shea's? Wasn't Shea's 38 or 39?
Shea.
It's a couple of players.
39.9, almost.
Yeah, 39.
Three players in the league that played just as many minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not
Tyrese Maxey maxed out.
It don't matter though, because you know why?
44.5 is what he averaged in the playoffs.
Because the Sixers needed it. Who else did they have?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like of the guys, only Luka right now. Luka's averaging 41.5 minutes in this playoffs.
Right. Because he can alternate with him and Kyrie.
Of people still playing. And Edwards is averaging 40. Tatum's averaging 40.5. Kyrie averaging 40. Those are the people still left right now on this list. Who else? That's it, really. Those are the people still playing.
Most of the people that is going to criticize, man, ain't going to be able to tell you that, though.
All this stem from Brunson can't lead a team to a championship. That's how we got here.
And that's what your opinion is, and we disagree. That's really what it comes down to.
That's how we got here.
And it remains to be seen.
And it's still not resolved.
So he wins a championship as the lead player. Yeah. It won't
exactly. It won't be. Yeah.
Right. But all we're saying is you guys are looking at it half full. We're looking at it the opposite way. That's it.
No, we're half full there.
Hey, y'all just saved this.
Oh, there you go.
This whole well, he'll just be on the team then when Giannis is walking into the MSG. How about that?
That's where we go.
Then the argument goes away because then he's saying who's the 1A here, right?
Yeah.
Exactly right. Right.
Or we could just send Brunson. We can have Brunson be our sixth man. You know, that's fine.
Be your sixth man.
Who is he sitting for?
That man ain't going nowhere.
Come on, dog.
No, y'all.
Giannis is gonna get unhappy before Brunson get unhappy.
I can tell you that. I can tell you that.
I mean, that's what happens. You know, you get happy with second round and third rounds when you don't have a championship ring. So I get it. I mean,
I know we get it.
You know, finals. You know, conference finals appearances mean much when you ain't got that ring. I get it. I do. I understand.
I guess. We shall see how the future plays out. It'll be very interesting.
Hey, we're gonna get out of here, y'all, man. Great conversation.
Yeah, this was fun.
This was definitely fun today. Appreciate everybody that came through. You know, we will do this again. Everybody's watching. We will not be on next week. Source has got plans. I got plans too, man. I got to go see Bad Boys 4. Do some things. And I got a kid who's got a birthday, so we will not be on. Which we won't. What by then? What they would have played? What is game 2 on
2
Sunday?
games?
It'll be game 2.
Yeah, I think it's Thursday and Sunday.
Yeah, so even by the time this would have been, it would only been the one game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So the week after, it'll only be 4 games. So as long as somebody wins one, they'll still be alive.
Oh, yeah. So look, we're definitely in some form or fashion. Everybody is on this panel. Whoever wants to come back, whatever. We'll be on the week after some way or other. So at least talk about what's going on in that series, though. But other than that, we appreciate y'all. Look for me and Source at some point. I don't know if it's going to be later today or later in the week or whatever. I think we are going to do a quick WNBA touch-up. I'm going to talk to him about that in a minute, so we're going to let you know. But other than that, y'all, we appreciate y'all checking us out. We catch y'all next time. It's the SBP, y'all. We out.